presentation of the Bulldog Sports Network.
You can wrap it in maroon and white.
Live from News Park in Starkville, this is Mississippi State Softball. Mississippi State Softball is sponsored by C-Spire, customer inspired. First pitch is just moments away. Now let's go live to the broadcast booth for Mississippi State Softball.
Good morning to you, and welcome into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here at News Park on the beautiful campus of Mississippi State University for today's Game 3 rubber match between the number 1 Tennessee Lady Volunteers and your number 12 Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Tennessee winners of Game 1 on Friday. The game went to extra innings. Lady Volunteers won 3-1 over Mississippi State, but Bulldogs walk-off winners over Tennessee yesterday, 1-0. A Taylor Troutman home run in the bottom of the 7th inning won the game for Mississippi State. Tennessee coming into this one 26-1 after falling yesterday for their first time this year, and they're 4-1 in the Southeastern Conference. And Mississippi State, with the win yesterday, moved to 27-3 and 1-1, dead even in Southeastern Conference play. It was the second year in a row now that Mississippi State has knocked off a number 1 team here in Starkville. Last year it was Texas, with Mississippi State winning in Game 1 in walk-off fashion. And we also had a chance to win the series last year. Couldn't do it, but a second year in a row that we have a chance to win the series, this time here at home against a top-ranked team. Yesterday was the 4th all-time win against the number 1 team in program history, as a regular season record crowd of 2,134 people saw the Bulldogs defeat the undefeated and number 1 ranked Tennessee Volunteers. First, looking at Tennessee and just in general, the key has been pitching for both squads. I mean, combined in these first 2 ball games, 16 total innings played, and there's only been 5 runs scored. Key has been pitching, and then you've also had stellar defense as well from both teams. For Tennessee, pitching staff's only allowed 4 hits and 2 runs in these 16 total innings that we've played, and only have made 1 error defensively. They've been everything we thought they would be coming into it and more, and we're going to see Carolyn Pickens as well this afternoon, which will be a treat to see, and hopefully she doesn't get the best of Mississippi State too much. One of the best pitchers in the entire country for a couple years running now, and so they'll go with her this afternoon, and hopefully Mississippi State can find a way to break the cold hitting streak this weekend. But the Bulldogs have been able to tack on 1 run each game, and 1 run was all MSU needed yesterday. Bulldogs got the upper hand yesterday over the Tennessee offense, and Lady Vols head coach Karen Weekly was not happy about her offense's approach yesterday at the plate. In her post-game interview, said it seemed like her players were really doing their own thing in the box, and later stating that her team, quote, didn't deserve to win. Really, Coach Weekly was upset about that offensive performance yesterday, that offensive approach. Mississippi State really bottled up Tennessee yesterday. It was Peja Gould who went the complete game and got a shutout and struck out 10 Tennessee batters. Bulldogs did not make an error yesterday, and the Bulldogs got the best, and Peja Gould got the best of the Tennessee order. So an impressive ball game yesterday from Mississippi State, and in both games 1 and game 2. It took to the 9th inning for Tennessee to score in game 1, and Bulldogs, Tennessee had 7 hits in that game, but State continued to pitch it well, and this weekend combined only 1 walk and 2 hit by pitches in the 16 innings we've played so far. So Mississippi State's been able to keep the freebies out of the question against Tennessee so far this weekend. Looking to focus more on Mississippi State and the maroon and white. The pitching has kept them in it all year, and it's done exactly that this weekend. Like I said, Peja Gould yesterday gave State full 7 innings of scoreless work. Only gave up 2 hits and only hit 2 batters yesterday. So State did a really, really good job, especially, too, when Tennessee got some runners in scoring position, which they did in the ball game a couple different times, but State locked in there. Peja Gould did, the defense did, and the Bulldogs were able to not allow a run in the entire ball game. It was just another impressive performance from the pitching staff for Mississippi State, and we'll see if Layla Amon today can go to work with that. And looking further, into what the pitching staff and the defense has done this weekend, State struck out over 1/3 of the Tennessee batters that have been faced this weekend, with 10 coming from Gould, 9 from Faircloth on Friday. In terms of total number of strikeouts, and like I said, looking at the defense too, it's been flawless this weekend. Not committing a single error in these 2 ball games so far, and also have turned a couple double plays. See if State can get it going today. As I mentioned, Layla Amon going to be starting in the circle for the Bulldogs. Offensively, obviously you'd like to be hitting and scoring more, but I think we fought in our at-bats. Only struck out around 20% of the time this weekend, maybe a little under that this weekend against the top 5 staff in the country, and I think the fight kind of culminated into the 7th inning yesterday with Troutman's battle of an at-bat. Turned it from an 0-2 count to a 3-2 count, and then hit a home run on a 3-2 pitch out of here to win the game for State, and excuse me, and upset the Tennessee Lady Volunteers. So we'll close up with that. I got an interview earlier with our head coach, Samantha Ricketts, so we'll let that go for you, and then send it to a break and be back for the starting lineups after that break. A pleasure joining you today here at News Park on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, along with HailState.com and the Hail State app, and excited for Game 3, rubber match today between number 1 Tennessee and number 12 Mississippi State. We'll go to the interview with Coach Samantha Ricketts and be back in just a moment, and take a break, and then be back in just a moment for starting lineups and then first pitch. Great to be with you here in Starkville. Game 3 between Mississippi State and Tennessee coming up soon. I'm Ty Goldman, and you are listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldogs Student Sports Network in Learfield. I'm here with your Bulldog head coach, Samantha Ricketts. Coach, great win yesterday. You get a record crowd here, regular season attendance-wise. It's the second time in a row that you've beaten a number 1 team here in Starkville and had a chance to win the series. What does it say about the program you and your staff have built, and what does that say about the fans here that support Mississippi State softball?
I think that's spot on. It really is about the fans, about the people. I think that's at the core of our program and how we run it. And to see the city of Starkville and just the maroon and white fans showing up for this program is really special, to see how far we've come and the crowds we've built and people believing in this team and what we're doing and what we're building on the field. So just very thankful, and we know it comes down to the community support, and it's really, really cool to see the buy-in, and that's something that we've worked hard to get to.
So with today, you got the pitching staff has been the answer in both game 1 and game 2. You had 19 combined strikeouts. You're striking out Tennessee batters more than 1/3 of the time this series. Yesterday it was Paige Gould with 10. It was Faircloth with 9 on Friday. What's the key today? I'm sure it is the pitching staff, but I think the big thing has been not limiting walks and limiting Tennessee runners in terms of giving up freebies. I'm sure that's going to be the key today with whoever we go with.
Yes, our pitching staff, they've been phenomenal. They've done exactly what we knew they were capable of, and still have another arm we haven't rolled out there yet. So we know how Sundays go in the SEC. We call it Toughness Sunday. It's like a super regional, and that's the type of effort you're going to get, and things can get a little crazy on Sundays in the SEC. So we're ready for a little bit of everything. If it's going to take a whole staff approach, that's what we're going to do. And I think the biggest thing that we're looking for today is an adjustment from our offense so we can support our pitchers when they're going out there giving us their best efforts.
Now, you left off saying at the end of that with the offense, I was going to move to that real quick. Obviously you'd like more runs and more hits in the hit column, obviously, but 1 was enough to get you done yesterday runs-wise, and then also 2 hits. But the thing is, I think y'all have done a good job of putting balls in play and making Tennessee work. Not less than 20% of the time y'all have been striking out this weekend. So you've been making Tennessee's defense work. Unfortunately, they just got a top 5 defense in the country. But you've been doing a good job at the plate, and I think in terms of approach, what changes today and what stays the same? Because, kind of saw that approach come to a full culmination with the home run yesterday to win the game.
Yeah, I think for us, we have just high expectations for our approach, and knowing that we really haven't swung in our game plan, we've let them dictate our offense a little bit too much. And they're great pitchers, and I think that's where you're seeing the difference, where we've gotten away with maybe slacking in our game plans or approach the last couple weeks. You can't do that against the number 1 team in the country. And so the expectation today is just to really buy in and to go out and go just swing confidently within our plan and just trust it a little bit more than we have been in the past and not worry about the result. I think that's another thing. When you have these high pressure games, it's really easy to worry about, I have to come through, I have to get a hit. But in reality, nothing changes from the way we've approached every at-bat all season. And it's just trying to win every pitch, whether that's taking marginal ones or putting our best swings on good ones. And you can't control whether they make a play or if it's a hit or an out, but you can control the effort that we give on each pitch.
Well, good luck to you today, Coach. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
There's team pride, and then there's extra Bulldog pride. When I'm carrying the Mississippi State University Regions Visa debit card or prepaid Regions Now card, that's exactly what I get. Whether I'm grabbing some extra state gear or picking up an extra dozen wings for the game, this card always brings it. Sometimes I get an extra Hail State from the cashier too. Visit Regions.com/Go State to get yours.
Extra changes everything. And at Regions, Extra is our ordinary. Official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
Hey fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Southern Ag Services and Alliance Ag Risk Management have deep roots in the farming communities of Mississippi and the Mid-South. Using crop insurance and research-based agronomy, our strategies will minimize your production risks and maximize your economic returns. Partnering with us ensures you'll get years of farming experience and local successes to help you make solid decisions. Alliance Ag Risk Management and Southern Ag Services, 662-268-8006.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C-Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you implement AI to increase productivity.
And next quarter is looking even better.
Giving you the confidence and control to accelerate business growth. There's more to see. C-Spire. Customer inspired.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. Moments away from first pitch here on a beautiful Sunday in Starkville, Mississippi. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you with the Bulldog Student Sports Network, as well as Learfield. Good to have you in and joining us in Starkville and News Park here on the press box. And Mississippi State and Tennessee just about set to get underway with Game 3. Bulldogs lost Game 1, but won Game 2 in walk-off fashion yesterday as they look to defeat the number 1 Tennessee Volunteers and start SEC play off right with a series win. We'll look at the starting lineups first for the visiting Lady Volunteers of Tennessee, looking at their record and also their name as well. Coming in 26-1 after the first loss of the year for them yesterday, 4-1 on the Southeastern Conference. Leading off and playing center field going to be the junior Sophia Knight, has led off every ball game, and they really have the same starting five. It looks like nearly the same starting lineup as yesterday. A couple changes in there, and I'll get to those as well. So leading off, like I said, playing center field going to be the junior Sophia Knight. Batting second, playing second base, going to be the sophomore Ella Dodge. Batting third in right field, the junior Gabby Leach. In batting fourth at first base, going to be the sophomore Mackenzie Butt. Batting fifth, the third baseman Emma Clark, the sophomore. Batting sixth, the left fielder junior Alana Leach. Batting seventh and behind the plate once again this series, going to be the catcher Elsa Morrison. Batting eighth and getting the start today, designated player freshman Taylon Holly. And then at the bottom of the order once more, and at shortstop, the junior Bella Fall. And then the starting pitcher for Tennessee, the righty Carolyn Pickens, one of the best pitchers in the country, has been the back-to-back SEC Pitcher of the Year these last two seasons. So we'll get into more of her stuff when we get to the bottom half of the first inning, but she's your starting pitcher. I will give you 0.60 ERA, hadn't lost this year in 46 2/3 innings pitched, and batters only having a 1.03 batting average against her. Now for the 27-3 and 1-1 Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Batting first and playing shortstop for the Bulldogs, the sophomore Morgan Stiles. Batting second, and at third base, she moves up to the 2 spot in the order. the senior Nadia Barbary. Batting third, the right fielder going to be the senior Kiara Sells. Best average in the order for Mississippi State and has been that way for quite some time. Batting fourth and playing left field, again, going to be the senior Morgan Bernardini. Batting fifth, moving up into the 5 spot, the designated player, the hero from yesterday, Taylor Troutman, hit the home run in the 7th inning, the win for Mississippi State, and going to get the start at designated player and in the 5 spot today. At catcher for Mississippi State in the 6th hole, going to be the senior Des Rivera. Batting 7th and in center field into the freshman Kinley Keller, batting 8th, and at second base today, the start yesterday went to Zion Romero. Today it goes to the freshman Gabby Schaefer. And then rounding out the order for Mississippi State, playing and starting at first again in all 3 games this series, going to be the senior Abby Grace Richardson. And the starting pitcher for your Bulldogs today, going to be the right-handed sophomore out of Gulf Breeze, Florida, and the transfer from Middle Tennessee State, Layla Amon, of this year. A 0.62 ERA, 7-0 record, 11 appearances, 9 games started, so this will be 12-10 for her. Has gone 2 complete games, 45 and a third innings pitched, 20 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 4 walks, 53 strikeouts. Batters with only with a 130 average against her, and also her last start on Tuesday against Southeast Missouri in Game 1 of the Bulldogs' 9-0 win. Pitched a 5-inning no-hitter, almost a perfect game, but a no-hitter was her first in her career and 27th in program history here at Mississippi State. So what a way to come in, coming off a no-hitter, and she'll look to go up and dominate the Tennessee order today. Bulldogs in all white today, no pins, just regular white jerseys with white state across the front, maroon outline, and then white numerals as well with maroon outline. No striping, just all white for Mississippi State today. For Tennessee, they're in all orange today, all orange with white striping, white script Tennessee across the front outline, and their Lady Vol blue, or well, they call it Summit blue, and then white numerals with also outlining that Summit blue. So just about set for first pitch here in Starkville. Beautiful day for college softball here and SEC softball, a top 15 matchup and a rubber match between these two fantastic ball clubs. Leading off going to be the center fielder, Sophia Knight. First pitch from Amon, swung on, grounded over to second base. Up with it is going to be Gabby Schaefer. Throw to first in time for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out. First pitch at 12:02 p.m. Central Time here on the beautiful campus of Mississippi State University in Starkville, Mississippi. Sophia Knight retired. Now Ella Dodge will step in for Tennessee. First pitch to her misses for ball 1. Dodge's average now at 357. Yesterday in the game went 1 for 2, and it went 1 for 4 on Friday, so a 2 for 6 slate for her so far through 2 games against Mississippi State. 1-0, misses low and outside. Now the count at 2-0. Wind blowing heavily out to left field. Favors the oppo shot for the lefty in Dodge. Now ball 3 is the count quickly into Dodge's favor. Amon trying not to lose an early Tennessee hitter. Umpires chatting, and they might have thought that was a foul ball, or same umpires as well. Home plate umpire J.C. Bartley, first base umpire David Irwin, and that second and third manning over there, those 2 bags will be Emerus Addison. So Addison and Bartley discussed if that was a foul ball. They do not call it a foul ball, so count stays at 3-0. Amon fires in a strike to make the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Hitters count for Dodge. Here's the 3-1 foul back to the netting. Just a little bit off with the timing there. Seemed like she was on it, nodding her head as she heads out of the batter's box, and she'll step in just a moment for a full count pitch. Here comes the 3-2 from Amon. Misses just low, and Dodge looks back at the dugout trying to fire up the Tennessee bench as she takes her walk down to first base. So Dodge on a One out walk for Mississippi State here in the top half of the first inning. Earliest base runner we've seen in the series so far. And Gabby Leach will stand in for Tennessee. She sends one high in the air, shallow left field. Ranging over going to be Bernardini. Going to make it a little tough grab to her left, but able to make the grab for out number 2. So the Bulldogs 2 outs, one from a ground out of Knight and one from a fly out of Gabby Leach, and Mackenzie Butt will step in. Butt was the hero on Friday with a 3-run home run in the top of the 9th inning that was eventually the game winner for Tennessee. Had 2 hits in that ball game on Friday as well, along with the 1 hit along with the home run, which was a double. First pitch to her, she fouls back for strike 1. But had a great day on Friday, but went 0 for 3 yesterday and had the hat trick put on her, struck out 3 times. Runner at first is Dodge. Here's the 0-1 to Butt. That one pulled and fouled down the third base line, and the count quickly runs to 0-2 on the Lady Vols cleanup hitter. State will get it in and have a pitch here momentarily. Glad you could join us here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network. Been treated to an excellent weekend of softball with these 2 top 15 teams. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed. She offers at the high cheddar, and Amon able to ride it past her, and the Bulldogs get out of the inning with a base runner left on base for Tennessee. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base for the Lady Vols. A walk does not harm Mississippi State. And the Bulldogs will go to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. It'll be Morgan Stiles, Nadia Barbary, and Kiara Sells, and they'll face off against Carolyn Pickens. We'll stay here and talk a little bit about the Tennessee pitcher today in Carolyn Pickens, a senior righty out of Weaverville, North Carolina, has spent all 4 years in college at the University of Tennessee on Rocky Top last year and the year before, so 2025 and 24 was the SEC Pitcher of the Year. Also was SEC first teamer those 2 years, and 2024 was a consensus All-American. It's a freshman of the year 2023 season and second team All-SEC. Also holds the record for the fastest pitch in NCAA softball history at 79.4 miles an hour. So you're going to consistently see her staying in the mid-70s. Don't have a radar gun near me that I can see, but if you were synced up with the broadcast on TV and then synced up with our broadcast, you'd probably see some 70-plus mile-an-hour pitches today, and that's probably what the state lineup is going to see. Last year, a 1.17 ERA, 44 appearances, 34 games started, went 25-11 and 226 in 2/3 innings, 144 hits, given up 63 runs, 38 of them being earned, 70 walks, 306 strikeouts. The opponents only had a 176 batting average against the righty this year. An 0.60 ERA coming in. That's fourth. That's fourth in the nation, third in the SEC. 9 appearances, so her 10th, and 6 games started, so her 7th game started today. 46 and 2/3 innings pitched so far, 16 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 21 free passes, 68 strikeouts. Opponents with only a 103 batting average against the righty in Carolyn Pickens. Did not pitch against LSU last weekend, so seeing her first action this year in SEC play. She'll lead off and face the top of the order for State as we start here in the bottom of the first inning, scoreless at 0. And it'll be Morgan Stiles due up for Mississippi State. Stiles 1 for 7 this weekend, 0 for 4 in a game on Friday, 1 for 3 yesterday. .585 in a leadoff spot this year, one of the best at getting on, but has not gotten on in the first inning this season, this series. In our first 2 ball games, first pitch to Stiles swung on and missed for strike 1. Stiles average at .359, now 33 hits on the year. Couple of home runs, in fact, dead on a couple at 2. 0-1 missed high, count at 1-0, or rather 1-1. 1-1 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 2. That one low and had a lot of speed on it. Stiles offered at it, was out of the zone, and count rides to 1-2 in favor of the reigning SEC pitcher of the year 2 times. 1-2, offered at, but did not go around, was Styles, and count will even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Barbary on deck for Mississippi State. Styles showing Bud, I'm sure will slash, and she does. 2-2 misses just out off the outside corner, and so count now at 3-2 for the leadoff hitter in Morgan Styles, trying to reach for the first time in the first inning this series. Here's a 3-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Carolyn Pickens going to be tough to deal with in this one. And a strikeout for her to start the ball game. Styles goes down on a 3-2 count, and Nadia Barbary now will step in. Good thing for State is if you get a hold of one that's got a lot of speed on it, good chance to get out of here, especially for righty batters like Barbary with the wind blowing heavily out to left field. First pitch to the Bulldog third baseman. Misses for ball 1. (1-0) misses as well. Now 2-0. Pickens has missed a couple times low. He's done so twice here to start the at-bat against Nadia Barbary. Barbary went 1 for 3 yesterday, 1 for 4 on Friday, so 2 hits so far through this series. Here's a 2-0. Swung on and out in front, fouls it over towards the State dugout. Really got wedged in between the door and the screen over there, so they'll get it out and get it back to the pitcher and Pickens. 2-1 count, still in favor of Barbary, the senior out of Douglasville, Georgia, coming off a second-team All-SEC year last year. Has been great for State defensively and offensively so far. 2-1, and she offered at that one. Home plate umpire J.C. Bartley all over it. And a count runs from 2-0 to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's a 2-2 with 1 out in the bottom half of the first. Swung on, slow roller to the left side, fall up with it. High throw, but corralled over there by Butt in time for out number 2. And so a strikeout and a ground out to start the bottom half of the first inning for Mississippi State. 2 outs in the inning now, and Kiara Sells will stand in. Sells looking for her first hit of the series. Didn't have a hit, I don't believe, in the as the first pitch to her misses for ball 1. I don't believe had a hit in the midweek against Southeast Missouri, so still looking for her first hit this week. 1-0 catches the outer half. 1-1 now the count. Sells went 0 for 3 yesterday, 2 strikeouts, and then 0 for 4 on Friday with a strikeout. Sends a hot shot over to second base. Up with it is the second baseman, and Ella Dodge throw over to first in time for out number 3. So State goes down in order for the 3rd straight time in the 3rd game this series. And the Bulldogs, there were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base as we end the first inning and move to the top half of the 2nd inning. Layla Amon still out in the circle for Mississippi State as we go to the top of the 2nd. It'll be Emma Clark, Alana Leach, and Elsa Morrison, 5, 6, and 7, due up for Tennessee when we come back. 0-0 our score as we head to the top half of the 2nd inning here at News Park. I'm Ty Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
Trey Willis, shortstop.
Marshall Jones, first baseman.
Alex Philbin, center fielder. Hi, I'm Tim from C Spire. Am I in the right place?
It always pays to have the right players on your team. That's why C Spire gives you fiber-fast home internet, nationwide 5G wireless, and best-in-class business solutions, all backed by local 24/7 support. C Spire, customer inspired.
Hi, I'm Jake Mangum. Life is about making the most of your at-bats. So if you struck out looking for auto insurance, give Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance a shot.
Farm Bureau Insurance is offering huge discounts on their auto rates. In fact, over the last 12 months, Farm Bureau Insurance has taken 3 rate reductions. Talk about coming through in the clutch. So if you were with us before or you're new to Farm Bureau, it's time to come home. Visit msfbins.com to find great new rates on auto insurance. And go with the home team.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here in Starkville. Mississippi State and Tennessee doing battle here in the series finale. Bulldogs lost in game 1. The Volunteers took it in extra innings and won 3-1, and State won yesterday in walk-off fashion. So we got a rubber match here in Starkville. Leading off for Tennessee in the top of the second inning, it's Emma Clark. First pitch to her misses for ball 1. Clark on the series, 2 hits so far, those 2 coming on Friday. A 2 for 6 total, went 0 for 3 yesterday. Had a strikeout to go with that. One of Peja Gould's 10. First pitch was a ball, but second pitch called a strike, and count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the 1-1, and ties up Emma Clark. Wanted to offer at it as it catches the inner half for strike 2. Amon trying to sit down the first batter she sees here in the top of the second. This one almost offered at, not fully by Clark. She's able to hold back as it missed high and out of the zone for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. No outs here in the top half of the second inning. Here's a 2-2. All speed swung on and missed. Clark well out in front of that one. Second strikeout of the ball game for Layla Amon. And Mississippi State's now got 1 out here in the top half of the second inning. So Amon, a fantastic start on Tuesday in game 1 as this one catches a zone for strike 1 to Alana Leach. 5 innings pitched, a no-hitter, no walks as well. 7 strikeouts. The only thing holding that from perfect game is this one swung on and missed, and count quickly now at 0-2 on the junior left fielder for Tennessee. Only thing that held a perfect game away from Amon was an error in the first inning by the Bulldogs. Didn't come back to haunt him as Amon worked through it. Here's the 0-2. This one offered at. They appeal. No, not even an appeal. Home plate umpire all over it. It's a strikeout of Alana Leach, and back-to-back Ks to start the top of the second inning for Layla Amon. Her 3rd of the ball game, 56th of the season. And standing in going to be Elsa Morrison. First pitch swung on and missed for strike 1. Morrison, freshman out of Knoxville, Tennessee, has been behind the plate all 3 games now and starting. The umpire dusting off home plate here. Went 0 for 1 yesterday, got pinch hit for. But went 0 for 3 on Friday, so 0 for 4 so far this series. She fouls this one off her foot, and the count runs to 0-2. Amon last year at Middle Tennessee State Conference USA All-Freshman, was the most used pitcher for the Blue Raiders last year. Here's the 0-2 to Morrison. Swung on, fouled over to the state bench, and the catcher will stay alive for the time being. But looking at Amon, ERA at 0.62 coming in. That's 5th in the nation, 4th best in the SEC. Just been one of the best pitchers in State's illustrious pitching staff. Here's the 0-2, offered at, and a strikeout. They say she went around. Layla Amon strikes out the side here in the top half of the second inning, and shirts will come out and be thrown to the State faithful here. A lot of Bulldogs in-house today like they were yesterday with a regular season record crowd, and a strikeout of the side for Layla Amon. It's Clark, Leach, and Morrison all striking out, swinging, and that'll send us to the bottom half of the second inning. Mississippi State on top, will go bat and looking to get on top of Tennessee in the bottom of the second as we are still scoreless, 0-0. We're back in just a moment for the bottom half of the second inning. Carolyn Pickens will be out to throw for Tennessee. We'll send it to a break and be back in just a moment. I'm Ty Goldman. You're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldogs Student Sports Network and Learfield.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Bulldog fans, are you looking for the perfect weekend getaway? Look no further. Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, Mississippi offers the experience of a lifetime, world-class entertainment, unique shopping, and the ultimate in fine dining. And if that's not enough, hit the links at the world-renowned Azaleas and Oaks courses at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club and complete your stay in luxurious relaxation at the spa. Your exhilarating weekend awaits only at Pearl River Resort, where you'll be at the center of it all. Must be 21 or older.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. State's offensive frame here in the second inning of play on Sunday here at News Park. Bulldogs trying to win the series over number 1 Tennessee. Leading off going to be Morgan Bernardini from Mississippi State. She'll go toe-to-toe with Carolyn Pickens here. First pitch from Pickens swung on and missed for strike one. Foul tip rather into the glove, and 0-1 count quickly on the Bulldogs left fielder. Bernardini looking for her first hit of the series. Averages dipped below 300. It was over 300 coming in to this three-game slate with the Lady Vols. 0-1 misses low, and so now 1-1 the count. Pickens has missed low from time to time. If anything, that's where she has been missing so far. Had one strikeout in the first inning and then forced two Bulldogs to ground out. Those ground outs coming from Barbary and Sells. This one now misses high, so 2-1 now the count. Wind has been rotating and blowing out to center field and left field. It's a heavy wind. Got some storms coming in through the Golden Triangle area in North Mississippi later tonight. Bernardini checks swings and went around for strike two, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes on Bernardini. 21 hits for her this season and 73 at-bats. 8 of those being extra base hits. She stays alive, fouling this one back to the net. Count will stay at 2-2. Got a home run derby after this ball game. Annual Firefighters of Starkville and Police Department home run derby. Firefighters have dominated. I think they've won every single one that's been hosted, so that'll come after the ball game. 2-2 the count to Bernardini. Just gets a piece of it, fouls it back to the net. And we'll do the 2-2 again. In a record crowd yesterday, 2,134 in-house to watch Mississippi State beat Tennessee, and it's a great crowd today too. Here's a 2-2 to Bernardini. That one misses the glove and all the way back to the screen. A little bit of oohs and ahs from the State faithful here. So that one got over the glove of Morrison. So now to count 3-2. Bernardini trying to reach to start the second inning here. 3-2 pitch swung on and missed by Bernardini for strike 3. So back-to-back innings that Pickens has led off with a strikeout, and the hero from yesterday going to step into the left-handed batter's box. Taylor Troutman, redshirt freshman in the designated player role again. Solo home run in the 7th yesterday, walked off Mississippi State against Tennessee. First pitch to her going to miss low for ball 1. Also had a home run on Friday in the 9th inning. Gave State a little bit of a spark. Bulldogs couldn't score enough, though, to come back and maybe at least tie it or win the game. Lost 3-1. Nearly offered at that one. Appeal down the third, not in time. Or she said or umpire says she didn't go around, and count now 2-0. That one missed low. On deck, Des Rivera behind the plate today for Mississippi State. Here's the 2-0 to Troutman. It misses low for ball 3. And so we'll see the approach here from Troutman. Maybe a green light, or maybe she'll take. Would have to think Pickens is just going to try and go speed right down the middle of the fastball. Maybe they want Troutman to get a green light and try and time this thing up and send it out of here. Here's the 3-0. Instead, she takes. That one was a little bit low in the zone, but did catch the lower half, and the count still much in favor of Troutman, but at 3-1 now, 1 strike from Pickens. Here's the 3-1. This one also catches the zone. Troutman didn't think so. Crowd thought it was a little bit outside. It was not, and the count rides full now, 3-2. Three-2 from Pickens to Troutman. Ground ball sent over to the right side. Dodge makes the grab and throws over for out number 2. It would be the left side for them, right side for me. And Troutman grounds out. So the second inning starting just like the first inning did for Mississippi State. State went ground out, or rather strikeout, ground out, ground out, and now strikeout, ground out with now 2 outs in the inning here in the second. And Des Rivera will step in. Big cut at that one and misses for strike 1. Rivera, transfer from Iowa, also played at Oregon State. Before that, went to the Women's College World Series with the Beavers. A .317 average coming into this ball game. 0-1 misses outside for ball 1 and evens the count up. Rivera looking for her first hit of the series. 0 for 5 so far. Has put everything in play, though, has not struck out yet in the series. Here's the 1-1 to her. That one low, but swung on and missed for strike 2. And so Rivera in a 1-2 count here and in a hole. Bulldogs trying to have some 2-out magic. Tennessee will have 8-9-1 due up in the top of the third. Here's the 1-2. Popped up right into the air. I think this play should be made, and it is by Morrison, the catcher, really in the left-handed batter's box for out number 3. So State goes down in order once again. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base for the 4, 5, and 6 hitters from Mississippi State. And we are still scoreless after 2 here in Starkville. Took us till the 7th inning yesterday to get our one and only run of the ball game, and took us till the 9th inning to get our 4 runs of the ball game on Friday. So could be in for a little while until we get our first runs of the game like we have been all series so far. State with Layla Amon to come back out and pitch here in the circle in the top half of the 3rd inning for Mississippi State, and she'll face 8-9-1 in Holly, Fall, and Night for Tennessee. Be back in just a moment. You're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
Everything is just a little easier when you feel at home. At Cadence Bank, we're proud to be part of your home team, and we never stop working to give you a competitive advantage. Stop by a branch or visit us online at cadencebank.com to learn more about how we're helping opportunity take shape for our community.
There's a hit out to left field. This one is gone.
Cadence Bank, a proud sponsor of Mississippi State Athletics. Equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
Hey fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here at News Park on a beautiful day for softball and Game 3 between number 1 Tennessee and your number 12 Bulldogs of Mississippi State. Scoreless as we head to the top half of the 3rd inning. It'll be 8-9-1 due up against the Bulldogs righty in Layla Amon. First pitch to Taylon Holly in the 8 hole today, and the designated player low for ball one. Holly, a freshman that averaged now at 286 on base percentage of 478. She rips one down the left field line and fair. Rounding first is Holly. Throw comes in all the way to second, but not in time. A leadoff double for Taylon Holly, and Tennessee's cooking here to start the top half of the third inning. First pitch she sees, or rather first strike she sees, is laced into left field, and so the Bulldogs will try and work around a leadoff double. Have been able to do that a lot this series with a runner at second base, and this one almost gets away from Rivera, able to make the grab, and ball one to Bella Fall. State playing in at least on the third base side. Barbary in for the bunt. See if Fall tries to lay one down. 1-0 the count. She will try to, and this one curves foul down the third base line. Barbary will pick it up in foul territory and give it back to her pitcher. So the count with the foul ball evens at 1-1. Fall so far this series, 1 for 4, was pinch hit for yesterday a couple times. She bunts this one straight back to Amon. Throw to first in time for out number 1. Gabby Schaefer covering. Makes the play, but the runner does advance to third base. And a runner just a bag away for Tennessee as the lineup flips over to Sophia Knight. So State got to be careful here. See if maybe Knight tries to lay one down too. Has the speed to get down the line quick, especially with the advantage too of being in the left-handed batter's box. First pitch to her, going to catch the zone, a called strike one. One sent right back to Amon. They look back to the runner at third base. A throw over to first. Scooped by Richardson over there. Luckily, she picked that thing, or it would have been a run for Tennessee, and the ball would have went down the right field line. Amon just lost control. That one was focused on the runner at third, but 2 outs in the inning for State after a 1-3 putout, and most importantly, that runner stays at third base. Ella Dodge will stand in for Tennessee. Walked in the first inning, and the 0-0 misses inside for ball one. Fans don't like that call. First pitch strike important, and they couldn't get it there. So 1-0 count to Ella Dodge. 34 RBIs so far on the season. She offers at the 1-0 and out in front of it for strike one. Dodge, again, has had one hit each in the first 2 games of this series, has not collected an RBI. Here's the 1-1. Inside for ball two. J.C. Bartley not really giving much leeway on the inner edge to the lefty and Dodge. The count goes in favor of Dodge now to 2-1. Here's the pitch. This one fouled back to the netting, and now a 2-strike count. Deuce's on the board with 2 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs here in the top half of the third inning. Runner at third base is Taylon Holly. She led off the inning with a double. State has since retired Fall and Knight. Fall a sac bunt and Knight a ground out. Here's the 2-2. Allspeed gets all the way to the plate. Throw to the plate, not in time, and Tennessee scores. Got all the way to the backstop. Rivera just couldn't hold on to it. I think it went off the tip of her glove there. Just a wild pitch from Amon, and Tennessee scores here in the top of the third. 1-0 Lady Vols. A 3-2 pitch on Dodge upcoming. This one misses the inner half again. The fans continue to be upset with that, but Bartley behind the plate has been consistent with that call, and so a 2-out walk for Ella Dodge, and she's walked in both of her plate appearances today. And so now Gabby Leach will stand into the left-handed batter's box for Tennessee. Balls with a run here in the top half of the third. They lead 1-0 over Mississippi State. Leach eyes the first one, and it's a called strike one. Earliest run scored in the ball game for either team this series. Like I said, all 4 runs were scored in the 9th on Friday, and then the 1 yesterday in the 7th. Backhanded play by Schaefer, and a glove flip up the middle to the shortstop, and Styles at second base retires Dodge. Great play there from Schaefer, a 4-6 put out to end the top half of the 3rd inning. But Tennessee able to score a run and take a lead in the ball game. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Tennessee, again, with a leadoff double from their 8-hole hitter, Taylon Holly, and she's able to come around and score. It was a leadoff double and then a sacrifice bunt, a ground out, and then a pitch that got away. A wild pitch scored. Holly from third base, and the Lady Vols have the lead. Carolyn Pickens going to come back out and pitch for Tennessee here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. We'll stay here, no break here in this as we transition to the bottom of the 3rd. State will have 7, 8, and 9 due up. Kinley Keller, Gabby Schaefer, and Abby Grace Richardson. And neither of those 3 have been able to collect a hit so far this series, so not a lot of Mississippi State players have been able to collect a hit during this series. Barbary has 2 of the 4 so far this series for Mississippi State, and Taylor Troutman has 2 of the 4. 2 home runs for her this series, and then Barbary with 2 singles. State with only 4 hits so far through 2 games. And now 2 games and 2 innings. So State will look to go to work here. To be Kinley Keller to lead off against Carolyn Pickens. So far through 2 innings pitched. Obviously no earned runs and no hits. No walks either. And 2 strikeouts so far. In 6 batters faced, has thrown 32 pitches. State has been able to work the count a little bit, but Pickens is not allowed a base runner so far for the Maroon and White. Keller will step in, freshman out of New Braunfels, Texas, facing the 2-time reigning SEC Pitcher of the Year, and she fouls the first pitch back over towards Gabby Schaefer in the on-deck circle for strike 1. Keller looking for her first hit as the 0-1 fouled off of her left foot for strike 2. Looking for her first hit since she had a 2-hit game against South Alabama back on March 6th. That was the Friday of the Jaguar Classic in Mobile. Here's the 0-2 to her. And catches his own, called strike 3, and Keller K's looking, and that'll bring up Gabby Schaefer from Mississippi State. Again, just 1 base runner seems like it could be the difference in a game like this between 2 top 5 pitching staffs in the nation. 1 run was the difference yesterday. 1 hit was the difference on Friday with the solo home run. First pitch to Schaefer misses outside for ball 1. So it seems like as Schaefer sends this one into right center field, back and gone. Gone. Schaefer with a home run, her 2nd of the week. Had one against Southeast Missouri on Tuesday and has one here to tie the ball game with Tennessee. Maroon and White faithful on their feet. Cowbells ringing. Mississippi State has tied this thing. A solo shot in the right center field that just got over the wall. Man, that one was hit on a line and crushed, and the Bulldogs have tied the game with Tennessee. So an immediate answer from Mississippi State for their first hit of the ball game. They score their first run on it. Solo home run for Gabby Schaefer, and the first pitch to Abby Grace Richardson misses low. Need to look real quick, make sure that, see how many home runs that is on the year for Schaefer as Pickens' pitch misses for ball 2. Pickens on the year has only allowed 4 earned runs. That's only the 5th earned run on her this year. For Schaefer, that was her 4th home run of the season. This one catches his own for strike 1, and Coach Tyler Bratton upset about that one. So is the Bulldog faithful. Richardson 0 for so far in this series, looking for her first hit. This one catches his own, they say, or rather missed, but Richardson went around and they appealed, and that's strike 2. So it got to 2-0 and now quickly to 2-2 on the Bulldogs' first baseman. 1 out in the inning. State has tied the game up with a home run. This one misses low for ball 3. Coach Bratton saying that's ball 4. Trying to make himself heard over there in the third base coaching box. And the full count on the 9-hole hitter for State. Lineup will flip over here in just a moment with Morgan Stiles on deck. Here's the 3-2 from Pickens. And that one misses low for ball 4. Coach Bratton over there chatting that that was ball 5. So he's getting his money's worth over there at third base. Meeting in the circle for Tennessee. So Abby Grace Richardson and the State offense will meet as well near their dugout. The Bulldogs with a base runner and 1 out as they've got this thing tied from a Gabby Schaefer solo home run that just found its way over the right center field wall. I talked with Coach Ricketts before the ball game. This was about that offensive approach. You know, they've been putting balls in play, hadn't been striking out very much. But she was just hammering on having confidence in the approach that they always want to have. And I guess you've seen that here, at least from Schaefer. State's been trying to put balls in play too. Tough to do that against Pickens, but the Bulldogs able to get 2 base runners now on here in the third inning. One made it all the way around and 1 go of it in Schaefer's home run. And Abby Grace Richardson on first after a walk. First pitch to Morgan Stiles, misses low for ball 1. Here's the 1-0 from Pickens. This one misses. Richardson taking second with ease. A hesitation on the throw from Morrison. That's a pitch miss for ball 2. And it was an easy steal for Abby Grace Richardson. That was, I believe, her 6th stolen bag on the season. Yes, it was her 6th stolen bag on the year. So Richardson in scoring position here at second base. Tennessee head coach Karen Weekly talked with the home plate umpire. There's no movement in the bullpen for Tennessee, and I would doubt they'd pull Pickens this early. They're just Weekly was chatting with the home plate umpire and J.C. Bartley. Don't know exactly what about. And they might actually be challenging to see if Richardson left early. So the call is, what they're doing, I believe, is challenging if Richardson left early at first base. Couldn't quite hear it on the field mic here. They're showing a replay on the board. I can't really tell. It's a little far away, but I think she's still on the bag. And no real reaction from the Tennessee side. And seems like it probably is clean. It looks like the ball had left the hand of Pickens, and Richardson was still on the bag. And so I think she's going to be just fine there at second base. And the call stands on the field. So she is safe, and State will remain having a runner in scoring position. Bulldogs, so far this series, combined with runners in scoring position, 0 for 3. Didn't have one in scoring position as this one misses for ball 3 to Stiles. Didn't have one in scoring position the entire game on Friday. Had 3 yesterday, but couldn't convert. So the fourth time in the series, State's had one at second base. And a 3-0 count to Morgan Stiles to see if she's got the green light. 3-0 misses low, ball 4. And so back-to-back walks for Pickens in her first SEC appearance this season. Struggling a little bit here in the bottom of the third as State has responded to tie the game with the solo home run from Gabby Schaefer. And then back-to-back walks. So that'll bring up Nadia Barbary. Barbary this season with the runners in scoring position, a .375 average. This one misses low, ball 1. Been a couple balls in a row now for Pickens in the circle. Here comes the 1-0. And Barbary liked what she saw there, just got a piece of it, fouled it back to the netting to even the count up at 1-1. Barbary grounded out in the first inning to fall at shortstop. Again, has a hit in at least, or one hit in each game so far in this series. Fouls this one back to the net, and seems like she's just on it. Got to adjust here with 2 strikes and protect the plate. A 1-ball, 2-strike count, 1 out in the inning. And runners at first and second for State after back-to-back walks. They've got this thing tied here after a solo home run from Schaefer. The 1-2, Barbary really fouled it back to the same spot on the net, and we'll do the 1-2 again momentarily. Barbary looking for her first RBI of the series. Had a lot of them in the midweek on Tuesday against Southeast Missouri in those 2 games. Here's the 1-2. Slow roller, going to be a tough play. Fall comes in, throw to first in time. Runners do advance, and they can only gun down Barbary at first base. So a productive out. Would have liked to see an infield single there, but this Tennessee defense has been great all series. Only 1 error so far as we're in the bottom of the third in game 3. Fall with a nice play over there. But runners at second and third for State. Sells .440 on the year with runners in scoring position. She's just behind on that one and fouls it back to the netting for strike number 1. Sells grounded out in the first, looking for her first hit here this series. And looking to reach for the first time this series as well. Has not done that so far. .440 again with runners in scoring position. She's a .280 hitter with 2 outs this year. It's Abby Grace Richardson at third and Morgan Stiles at second base. Here's the 0-1. Oh, it catches his own there, and strike 2 looking, and an early hole for Kiara Sells will be tough to dig out of here. 0-2 count to Sells. Swung on, sent to center field. Back, giving chase is Knight, but caught on the warning track for out number 3. So Pickens able to escape the jam. Bulldogs ended up getting runners at first and second with 1 out and second and third with 2 outs, but they cannot score any more than they did. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. The 1 hit and run belonged to Gabby Schaefer with a solo home run into right center field. That went a total distance of, and we'll see if it pops up on the board so I can give it to y'all, 225 feet. So the 225-foot homer ties the game up as we head to the 4th inning here in Starkville. Be back in just a moment for the top half of the 4th. It'll be a new pitcher for State in Peja Gould. I'm Ty Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network in Learfield.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C-Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you implement AI to increase productivity.
And next quarter is looking even better.
Giving you the confidence and control to accelerate business growth. There's more to see. C-Spire. Customer inspired.
Southern Ag Services and Alliance Ag Risk Management have deep roots in the farming communities of Mississippi and the Mid-South. Using crop insurance and research-based agronomy, our strategies will minimize your production risks and maximize your economic returns. Partnering with us ensures you'll get years of farming experience and local successes to help you make solid decisions. Alliance Ag Risk Management and Southern Ag Services, 662-268-8006.
To the fourth inning we go here in Starkville. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here at News Park with the Bulldog Student Sports Network in Learfield. Mississippi State is tied with Tennessee at 1 run apiece. New pitcher for Mississippi State going to be the senior righty out of Stockton, California, Peja Gould. Pitched yesterday in a full 7 innings, complete game or a complete game shutout for her. And Peja Gould with 10 strikeouts yesterday as well against Tennessee. Only 2 hits given up, 2 hit by pitches, and that was really the only traffic in the ball game for the Lady Volunteers. And Mississippi State will look to Peja Gould after a good start from Layla Amon. Gave up the lone run. She won't. I don't believe it shouldn't be in the decision for this ball game, as we got a new ball game now, tied at 1. So if State were to win, it'd be Peja Gould getting the win, I believe. But Amon, 3 full innings, 1 hit given up, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 1 wild pitch which scored that run. She threw 38 total pitches and faced 12 Tennessee batters. And so Peja Gould will come in after an incredible performance yesterday and try and give State the same spark. She'll face off against the 4, 5, 6 hitters to start here in the top half of the 4th inning against Tennessee. It's Mackenzie Butt, Emma Clark, and Alana Leach. First pitch misses inside from Gould for ball 1. But 0 for 1 today, struck out in the first inning. One of Amon's 4 in the contest. So 1-0 count on the sophomore first baseman wearing number 98. She chases at this one high in the zone. Swing and miss for strike 1. Bulldogs will host UAB in the midweek here in Starkville on Wednesday. So here comes the 1-1, swung on and missed for strike 2. So State will face UAB in the midweek on Wednesday here in Starkville. We'll have that one on the Bulldog Student Sports Network. And then a road SEC series to top 15 Georgia next weekend. Here's the 1-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. Gould continuing her success from yesterday. A strikeout of Mackenzie Butt, who struck out 3 times yesterday against Peja Gould and strikes out again. So just hasn't been able to see her well, and Emma Clark will stand in now for Tennessee. Clark 0 for 1. She sends this one into left field, and it's given a good ride, and it is gone into the trees in left field, and Emma Clark with a solo shot has given Tennessee the lead right back. Lady Vols lead 2-1 here in the top half of the 4th inning. She got all that one, and the wind blowing in favor out towards left center and center field, and hit that one out to left center, got it up in the air, and the wind took care of it with all that it needed to. That one was hit well, but wind helped anything that lacked in that home run shot, and Tennessee leads 2-1 here in the top of the 4th inning. So both teams just answering each other. The first pitch from Peja to Alana Leach in there for a called strike 1. So first run surrendered for Peja Gould this series after a complete game shutout yesterday. Here's the 0-1 to Leach. Off speed, misses high in the zone. Evens the count up at 1-1. Both teams answering each other. A 1-run top of the 3rd for Tennessee, a 1-run bottom of the 3rd for State, and now a 1-run top of the 4th so far for the Lady Volunteers. Swing and a miss, strike 2 from Leach. Cade the second. Part of that inning where Mississippi State's Layla Amon Cade the side. Gould trying to work back from the solo home run. Here's the pitch. Misses low and out of the zone for ball 2. Evens up the count again, now 2-2. Two-two to Leach. Swung on, sent down the third baseline over towards the head coach for Tennessee, Karen Weekly, and foul. Leach looking for her first hit so far in the series. Only had one AB on Friday and went 0 for 1. And then in the start yesterday in left field, went 0 for 3. 14 hits on the season, average at .311. Here's a 2-2. Swung on, sent into right field, and pretty much straightaway right field. Kiara Sells with an easy play. That one goes into her glove and makes it out number 2. Elsa Morrison now will step in for Tennessee. Go for 1 with a strikeout. But Tennessee has taken the lead here in the top of the 4th inning. A solo home run from Emma Clark. This one misses his own to Morrison for ball 1. Solo home run to left center field from Emma Clark has given the Lady Vols a 2-1 lead over Mississippi State. So an active game 3 here, and as we expected. This one misses, or rather, a swing and a foul tip, excuse me. And so the count even at 1-1. She sends this one into left center field. Ranging over is the left fielder Bernardini, and a nice play made to her left for out number 3. But Tennessee able to take the lead with the big fly out the left center field. The Lady Volunteers, a solo home run from Emma Clark. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base for Tennessee. Gould gives up her first run of the series against the Lady Volunteers, and that'll send us to the bottom half of the 4th inning, where Mississippi State will still be facing Carolyn Pickens. It'll be 4, 5, 6 due up for the Lady Bulldogs. Morgan Bernardini, Taylor Troutman, and Des Rivera as we head to the bottom of the 4th here in Starkville. 2-1 our score. Tennessee on top of Mississippi State in the rubber match here in Starkville at News Park. Game 3 here. We'll be back in just a moment for the bottom half of the 4th inning. Mississippi State 1, Tennessee 2. I'm Ty Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network.
Trey Willis, shortstop.
Marshall Jones, first baseman.
Alex Philbin, center fielder. Hi, I'm Tim from C Spire. Am I in the right place?
It always pays to have the right players on your team. That's why C Spire gives you fiber-fast home internet, nationwide 5G wireless, and best-in-class business solutions, all backed by local 24/7 support. C Spire, customer inspired.
Hi, I'm Jake Mangum. Life is about making the most of your at-bats. So if you struck out looking for auto insurance, give Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance a shot. Farm Bureau Insurance is offering huge discounts on their auto rates. In fact, over the last 12 months, Farm Bureau Insurance has taken 3 rate reductions. Talk about coming through in the clutch. So if you were with us before, you're new to Farm Bureau, it's time to come home. Visit msfbins.com to find great new rates on auto insurance. And go with the home team.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. We head to the bottom half of the 4th inning here in Starkville in Game 3 between number 12 Mississippi State and number 1 Tennessee. Lady Volunteers lead 2-1 after a solo home run in the top half of the 4th inning from Emma Clark. After the Bulldogs responded with a solo home run in the bottom of the 3rd inning to tie the game, Tennessee responds with a solo home run of their own. Both teams going after each other here. Back-to-back innings. We'll see if State can respond like they did in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll still be Carolyn Pickens out there for the Lady Volunteers. So far through 3 innings pitched, it's given up the lone hit, which was the home run from Schaefer. counted for the lone run of the game for Mississippi State. 2 walks, which came in the last half inning as well. 3 strikeouts. He's thrown 55 total pitches so far. Morgan Bernardini going to step in for Mississippi State. Struck out swinging in the second inning. One of the 3 strikeouts for the Tennessee righty. Here's the 0-0. Catches his own, strike 1. So Bernardini again looking for her first hit of the series. One swung on and missed, and she is struggled to strike out yesterday in an 0-for-3 ball game, and then no strikeout on Friday, so 0-for-6 in total, 1 K coming into this one, and has already K'd up once in this ball game. The 0-2 misses high and inside for ball 1. So an 0-for-7 series so far for the Bulldogs left fielder, with 2 strikeouts looking for her first hit. This one a slow roller. Clark comes in at third base and boots it. An error off of really her left wrist, which was her glove side. And an error for Tennessee, their first of the ball game, first since Friday night in the 9th inning. And State's got a leadoff runner on due to an error. Coach Samantha Ricketts talking with home plate umpire and J.C. Bartley, and State going to make a change running-wise. Bernardini will sub out, and Kalani Sells will run for Mississippi State. Sells is 1-for-1 this season in stolen base attempts. Hasn't done it much. You get Taylor Troutman now at the plate for Mississippi State. J.C. Bartley behind the plate will clean off the plate. Wind favoring center field now, just dead center. We got a steady breeze. It's been this way all day here in Starkville. 0-0 to Troutman. Sends one right to the second baseman. 4-6-3. Double play for Tennessee. Man, what a really good play from Dodge, Fall, and Butt to have the stretch over there at first base. But the middle infielders go to work, and Tennessee has a twin killing for the first 2 outs of the inning. And so Des Rivera will stand in for Mississippi State. 2 outs in the inning. Again, a 4-6-3 double play. And here comes Des Rivera. First pitch misses high for ball 1. So far, Pickens, 60 total pitches thrown. 36 of those have been strikes. Here's the 1-0. This is low, now ball 2. Rivera popped out to the catcher in Morrison in her first plate appearance in the second inning and looking for her first hit of the series. The 2-0. Offered at and check swing and a foul ball. So a little excuse me swing, and she has the bat get a piece of it, and it's sent back to the netting. 2-1 on the Bulldogs catcher out of Chino, California. Nearly offered at that one, but stays back. And that one off the top of the glove of Morrison to the backstop. So now a 3-1 count, a hitter's count here for Rivera. Carolyn Pickens calls time, and say now it's 2-2. I thought it would have been 3-1. Maybe I missed it. So 2-2 count. Well, no, 3-1 count. The scoreboard's got 3-1, and it should be 3-1. The umpire confirms that as well. So 3-1 count. Thought it was, and hitter's count here for Rivera. 2 outs in the inning for State. Slow roller and a chopper to the third base coaching box, and foul, and count runs full now, 3-2. State trying to answer Tennessee's solo home run in the top half of this inning. 3-2 count on Rivera. Sent up the middle. Dodge to her right makes the play at second base, a throw over in time for out number 3. So State able to get the leadoff runner on from an error, but they're doubled up. A 4-6-3 double play. Troutman grounds into one, and then Des Rivera grounds out to Dodge at second base for out number 3, and that'll send us to the top half of the 5th inning. Again, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base for Mississippi State. As we head to the top of the 5th inning, it'll be still Peja Gould for MSU when we come back here in Starkville. 2-1 Tennessee. Bulldogs trying to find a way to come back and defeat Tennessee and win the first SEC series of the season. We'll be back in just a moment. Here in Starkville, I'm Ty Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldogs Student Sports Network and Learfield.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric, and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Bulldog fans, are you looking for the perfect weekend getaway? Look no further. Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, Mississippi offers the experience of a lifetime. World-class entertainment, unique shopping, and the ultimate in fine dining. And if that's not enough, hit the links at the world-renowned Azaleas and Oaks courses at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club and complete your stay in luxurious relaxation at the spa. Your exhilarating weekend awaits only at Pearl River Resort, where you'll be at the center of it all. Must be 21 or older.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here in Starkville at News Park. Game 3 between Mississippi State and Tennessee. Lady Volunteers lead your Bulldogs 2-1 as we head to the 5th inning here on the campus of Mississippi State University. 8-9-1 due up for Tennessee here to start the 5th inning, and they'll face off again against Peja Gould. Gould allowed her lone run of this series last half inning with a solo home run from Emma Clark that gave Tennessee the lead. Taylon Holly stands in. First pitch to her, a ball outside. Holly doubled down the line in the 3rd inning and came around the score on a wild pitch. And this one in the dirt from Gould, and quickly the count in favor of Holly at 2-0. Holly, a freshman out of Murrieta, California, number 7 player in the nation coming out of Murrieta Mesa High School. Had a great freshman season so far for Tennessee, average now at 300 after the double in the 3rd inning. 2-0 catches the outer half. 2-1 now the count. That was Holly's first hit of the series there in the 3rd inning. 2-1 misses inside. Appeal down 3rd and unsuccessful for State. At a count now 3-1. They've seen it all game. Home plate umpire J.C. Bartley has given the inside half to left-handed hitters and the outside half of the plate to right-handed hitters a pretty hard time. This one sent over towards the right side. First baseman Richardson up with it, makes the grab on the ground and steps on the bag at first base for out number 1. So 3 unassisted put out to start the top of the 5th inning, and now Bella Fall will step in. Sacrifice bunt back in the 3rd inning, which moved Holly over to third base, where she eventually scored. First pitch low in the zone, but offered at from Fall on a check swing. First base umpire, David Irwin says she went around. Strike 1 to Fall, junior shortstop. She fouls this one back to the screen for strike 2. Junior shortstop out of Sugar Hill, Georgia. 3rd season on Rocky Top. A .220 batting average last year. It's at .229 right now, so 9 points better than what she ended with last season. Here's the 0-2 from Gould. Swung on and missed in the dirt, but a tag from Rivera before Fall could scamper away, and that's strikeout number 2 for Peja Gould, and 2 outs now in the inning. A ground out, a strikeout swinging. Gould able to make quick work of the 8-9 hitters for Tennessee. And now the lineup, though, will flip over. Sophia Knight going to stand in for Tennessee. Knight with a single in both games. A single going 1 for 4 on Friday, and a single yesterday going 1 for 3. So far today, 0 for 2. 2 ground outs. 1 to Schaefer at second in the first, and 1 back to the pitcher in the third. That was to Amon. Swing and a miss. Now strike 2 on the leadoff hitter for the Volunteers. One of the best in getting on base. He's reached almost every game this season for Tennessee. Here's the 0-2 tour. Misses outside for ball 1, and the count now 1-2 with 2 outs in the inning. Knight, again, a transfer from Boise State, spent 2 years there, was first team Mountain West Conference twice. Had a storied career there for the Broncos. 1-2 just misses off the outside corner, and the count evens up at 2-2. Deuce is on the board now with 2 outs in the inning as well. Marbury playing in a little bit at the bag at third base. This one pulled over to the right side. Richardson up with it and makes her second unassisted putout of the inning. And that'll end the top half of the fifth. Bulldogs and Peja Gould able to retire Tennessee in order, 8-9-1. Goes down with a ground out from Holly, a strikeout swinging from Fall, and a ground out from Knight. Both those ground outs to Abby Grace Richardson over there at first base, and that'll send us to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Bulldogs will have 7, 8, and 9 due up, and we'll keep it here in the middle of the fifth. State will have, like I said, 7, 8, and 9 due up as we head to the bottom of the fifth here. Carolyn Pickens, still in the circle for Tennessee. So far through 4 innings pitched, giving up 1 hit, and that lone hit was a home run, which scored her only earned run of the game. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. State only got 3 to the plate last half inning. A leadoff error from Tennessee, and then a ground out into a double play, and then to end the inning for Mississippi State in the bottom of the fourth, a ground out from Des Rivera. It was a 4-6-3 double play for the Lady Vols, and then a ground out to Dodge at second base, so she was active that last half inning. Again, Tennessee has played a really solid so far. You know, they've made the only 2 errors in the series, made 1 on Friday, made 1 last half inning, but they have been really solid. You look at middle infield for them in Fall and Dodge, and those 2 have been stars for Tennessee defensively. And Dodge also can hit it too. Fall has struggled a little bit this year hitting it, but they both combine to play a great middle infield together. So bottom half of the fifth we go, 2-1. Again, our score. Tennessee on top of Mississippi State right now. Bulldogs with a win would defeat the Lady Volunteers in their second SEC series, and the Bulldogs first. Tennessee swept LSU last weekend in Knoxville, but State's given everything. They've given them everything they can and more. Kinley Keller will stand in for State to start the bottom of the fifth inning. First pitch to her, missed low, but we had time called before the pitch. That was a ball there, but we had time called from Emerus Addison over there at third base, and I think that was called by Maddie Rutan, who's now in the game at third base for Tennessee, replacing Emma Clark defensively. So she calls time, and it takes a ball off the scoreboard as that one missed low. So count resets to 0-0. Here's the pitch. And there's strike 1. Of course, it works out that way, and an 0-1 count quickly on Keller. She K'd looking in the third right before Gabby Schaefer knocked one out of here to then tie the ball game up. Here's the 0-1 to Keller from Pickens in there for a called strike 2. Nice off-speed pitch from Pickens, and she liked what she saw there from her arm. Pickens with 3 strikeouts so far. This one misses low, so a ball now on the count, 1-2. Those strikeouts for Pickens, 1 coming in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the third. Did not have 1 last half inning, but was able to retire the Bulldogs at a different type of 1-2-3. Leadoff error, but then a double play, and then a ground out to end the inning. Foul ball back to the screen for Kinley Keller. The count stays at 1-2. Freshman trying to fight here. Get on base for the first time this series. .378 average for the freshman out of New Braunfels, Texas. Fouls this one off the netting above the state bench and into the dugout. Thrown back into Carolyn Pickens, and we'll do the 1-2 again. Keller is trying to stay alive here. See what Pickens brings. Maybe tries to go with the heat. Here's the 1-2. That one off speed, but high, and count evens now at 2-2. Wind favoring the pull side for Keller, blowing the left center field for the righty. Here's a 2-2. She offered at that one in the dirt, strike 3. And the first batter retired here in the 5th inning for Mississippi State. Now Gabby Schaefer will stand in for the Bulldogs. Schaefer responsible for the only run of the game for State. Solo home run back in the 3rd inning, which tied the game. Tennessee promptly untied it in the 4th with their own solo home run. But responsible for the only run and only hit in the game so far for the Lady Bulldogs. First pitch to Schaefer, misses high for ball 1. And she caught all of that one that she sent out of here. It was a line drive over the right center field wall. The 1-0. Misses low, ball 2. Abby Grace Richardson stands in the on-deck circle for State. She walked after that home run from Schaefer in the 3rd inning. Couldn't come around the score, got all the way to 3rd. So she's in the on-deck circle for MSU. Here's the 2-0 to Schaefer. Misses low, ball 3. I'm sure we might get a take here from Schaefer. Try and get a 1-out base runner for Mississippi State as the Bulldogs look to try and tie this thing or maybe take the lead. The 3-0. Oh, man, just caught the zone, and Coach Bratton is hot. He's got to be careful. Could get thrown out of this thing. That's absolutely... he's absolutely ticked off. I mean, I tell you what, he is hot. He calls time to talk to Gabby Schaefer. And he is a little upset. I think he should be. That one looked like it misses on to me up here. Count at 3-1 on Schaefer of Mississippi State. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tennessee leads 2-1. This one misses low and inside. And there's ball 4. It gets it maybe, she gets it maybe a pitch later than it should have been, but Schaefer, regardless, able to reach for the 2nd time. Abby Grace Richardson now will stand in for Mississippi State. Richardson, like I mentioned, walked in the 3rd, stole 2nd, and also made it down to 3rd base too. Almost offers it, that one does not. Throw down to 2nd base is Schaefer trying to take the bag, and she does. And they say she's out at 1st base. They say Schaefer left first early. And State may challenge here, but first base umpire David Irwin says that Schaefer left the bag early at 1st base and called her out. So that's what the call is right now, clear as day. Coach Weekly talking about that. And now going to chat with Emerus Addison, one of the field umpires. I'm pretty sure, I thought Irwin said that she was out, but Schaefer staying at second base, so for right now, I believe it's a steal. And I guess this is going to be reviewed in whatever way, and I got to take a part of my headset off to hear this, what we're reviewing. So Tennessee is going to challenge the call on the field, which was safe at second base. So I thought, and looked like first base umpire David Irwin said she left early, had a fist in the air like she was out. But I think they talked about it and reversed what they had on the field. So Schaefer, for right now, a call on the field is that she's safe at second base. And I guess they're looking more so at if she was off the bag at second. And that's what they're looking at, rather, if she left early, and it is really close, seeing if her fingertips slid off the bag, and I think Schaefer's fingers might have. The tag is down from what I'm seeing on the replay. It's still applied. Again, it's important what the call on the field is. All replays through Birmingham, the Birmingham offices during conference play, and not in-house. So, again, important that the call on the field was safe, so we'll see if they have enough evidence to overturn it. I mean, I think it's really, really close. And here comes the call. And the call changed, and she is out. So Schaefer out now. And Coach Bratton talking about it. And Schaefer going to head back to the dugout. So Schaefer caught stealing, and a big out there for Tennessee to get. So now 2 outs in the inning for Abby Grace Richardson as we'll kind of reset here. A 1-ball, no strike count on the Bulldogs' first baseman. So 2 outs now in the inning after Schaefer is caught stealing. This one misses inside, and so the count rides to 2-0. Rather now 1-1. I guess that 1-0 or the 0-0 that was thrown down was a strike. So 1-1 the count. This one misses low, and now 2-1 the count. Just behind the plate now, Morrison talking with the home plate umpire, and both teams have been frustrated with the zone on this one. Bartley behind the plate is seemingly not making either team happy. So now 2-1 the count. Richardson fouls this one back to the netting, and so the count evens at 2-2. Bulldogs trying to spark a 2-out rally here. Lineup will flip over if we can get to the top of the order with 2 outs in the inning. Morgan Stiles waits in the on-deck circle. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Misses low. Now count full, 3-2. Stiles 0 for 1 in the game. So she gets to the plate, has reached in this ball game already. Reached on a walk back in the third. Here's the pitch to Richardson. That one not all for that, and a good eye from Richardson. That's ball 4. A 2-out walk and time called, and Tennessee will talk about it in the circle. So State will flip the lineup over here with 2 outs, and big thing too is could have been 1 out there if you didn't have Schaefer caught stealing, and you'd have runners at first and second with 1 out, but Schaefer got caught stealing there, so instead you got a runner at first with 2 outs. But Schaefer was in safely, just the fingers came off the bag there on the slide through. It was a head-first slide, and his fingers just came off the bag there, and a good job by the Tennessee defender. Can't remember if that was fall or dodge, but one of those middle infielders that kept the tag applied all the way through. It was clean. They didn't push her off or anything. The fingers just came off on the slide through from Schaefer. Tough to stop your momentum there, and she just couldn't do it. So Morgan Stiles will stand in now. Runner at first with 2 outs in the inning. It's Richardson who reached on a 2-out walk. 0-0 inside and a strike to Morgan Stiles. Again, Stiles 0 for 1 in the game. Cade in the first inning swinging and walked in the third, made it to second base. And that was all she could do. This one misses, and 1-1 now the count. Missed high. Morrison came out of her stance behind the plate and gave Richardson a look over there at first base. 1-1 the count. Stiles eyes that one outside. Now 2-1. 2 outs in the inning again. Wind blowing out to left center field, favoring the pull side for the righty. Stiles looking for her first hit of the day. The 2-1. Slow roller. Pickens over to her right, makes the play. Throw over to first in time. Great PFP there from Carolyn Pickens, and that will end the 5th inning. Mississippi State heads into the top half of the 6th inning, trailing Tennessee 2-1. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base for Mississippi State. As we head to the 6th inning, Bulldogs will have Peja Gould back out in the circle, and then Tennessee will have 2, 3, and 4 due up. Ella Dodge, Gabby Leach, and Mackenzie Butt when we come back. State trying to keep this a 1-run game and get to the bottom of the 6th where they can hit again and try and tie the game or take the lead. 2-1 our score as we head to the 6th inning. Between Mississippi State and Tennessee, the Volunteers lead. I'm Ty Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
Everything is just a little easier when you feel at home. At Cadence Bank, we're proud to be part of your home team, and we never stop working to give you a competitive advantage. Stop by a branch or visit us online at cadencebank.com to learn more about how we're helping opportunity take shape for our community.
There's a hit out to left field. This one is gone.
Cadence Bank, a proud sponsor of Mississippi State Athletics. Equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
Hey fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. We head to the 6th inning here, top of the 6th in Starkville, in Game 3 between number 12 Mississippi State and number 1 Tennessee. Bulldogs trail Tennessee 2-1 as we head to the top of the 6th inning and look to keep it at a 1-run deficit to get back hitting in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch from Peja Gould in the dirt and all the way to the backstop for ball 1. State with some defensive changes, so I'll read the whole field alignment. Battery, Gould in the circle, Rivera behind the plate, and then in the infield, Barber at third, Stiles at short, Schaefer at second base, Richardson at first. Here's the 1-0 to Ella Dodge, and that one misses outside 2, so now 2-0. And in the outfield for State, Tatum Silva now in left field, replacing Morgan Bernardini, Kalani Sells in center. And Kinley Keller now moves to right field. 2-0 in there, called strike 1. So Keller was the original center fielder, so she just moves to right, and Kalani Sells takes her place in center field. 2-1 misses low and outside, and now 3-1 the count, a hitter's count for Dodge. Dodge has walked in every plate appearance so far in this ball game. Reached on all 3 days now in this series. She fouls this one right over towards the Tennessee bench. Off the wall of the dugout there, and so now the count full at 3-2. Gould has not walked a batter so far in the ball game, and Hadn't hit one either. It's only given up one hit, and it's a solo home run that gave Tennessee the lead. Here's the 3-2. Misses low and outside, ball 4. First walk of the ball game for Gould. First walk of her 9 innings pitched so far in these 2 games that she's thrown. Gabby Leach will now stand into the left-handed batter's box. Leach, a fly out, a fielder's choice so far in this one. She's 0 for 2. Dodge over there at first base, 8 stolen bags on the year, has been caught stealing 3 times. First pitch to Leach, offered at, and a strike. 0-1 the count. A 1 foul tip. Over towards the on-deck circle for Tennessee. Gould checking in on her catcher. Maybe that one went off of her. Didn't see it. And so now the count 0-2 on the 3-spot hitter in Leach. Leadoff runner aboard for Tennessee and Dodge, who walked. Here's the 0-2. Misses outside. Rivera looking down the first base and looking Dodge back over there. State has caught 1 runner stealing so far this series. This one misses low and inside. Now ball 2 and evens the count up. But State in game 2 yesterday caught Sophia Knight trying to steal second base. That was Rivera who threw down and made the play. So Dodge could be a threat, but a swing and a miss for Leach, and she's retired for out number 1. Third strikeout of the ball game for Peja Gould, nearing her 100th on the year. That's number 99. Mackenzie Butt now will step in. 0 for 2. Has Cade in both plate appearances so far. Swing and a miss on the first one. Cade 3 times yesterday against Peja Gould, and then Cade in the 4th inning against her. And hitting coach for Tennessee will step out and talk to her. So just has not seen it well from Peja Gould in the 4 times she's faced her. And then early on in the ball game in the first inning, struck out to Layla Amon. So in her last 5 plate appearances has struck out. Plate appearance before that was the 3-run home run on Friday night, which was the eventual game winner for the Big Orange. Here's the 0-1. All speed in there. Called strike 2. And so now Bud will have to try and work out of a 0-2 count. Averages always dip when we get down to 0-2 in college baseball and softball. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, foul tip, softly over towards the third base side. And we'll do the 0-2 again momentarily. So 1 out in the inning. Dodge reaching a leadoff walk. Bulldogs trying to keep the deficit at 1. 2, 3, and 4 due up next inning for Mississippi State. Here's the 0-2. Misses outside. I think that was the intention there, was to try and get her to chase, but did not offer, and State also keeping a close eye on Dodge at first. 1-2 swung on and missed, strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts after a leadoff walk for Peja Gould, and that's her 100th strikeout of the season. So Gould hits triple digits in strikeouts, and Bulldogs now have 2 outs here in the inning, and Emma Clark will stand in. Homered in the 4th inning in the left center field that gave Tennessee the lead, and the wind blowing out that way now, too, in the left center field. First pitch from Gould catches the inner half for a called strike 1. But has not seen Gould, at least today. Saw her yesterday and didn't fare well. It went 0 for 3 and had struck out once. This one, just missed low. I think it caught the inner half, but probably was low and out of the zone. The count evens up at 1-1. Yeah, Bartley's been given an earful from the crowd here all day. 1-1, ball in the dirt, and the runner going, and stealing safely is Dodge, so had really no chance to throw down there. Rivera just had to block that thing up. That one hit the dirt in front of the plate, and so now the count 2-1 on Clark. Gould trying to work with the runner in scoring position here. 2-1 in there, right down the middle for strike 2. Deuce is on the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs here in the top half of the 6th inning. Tennessee with a runner at second in Dodge, who scored 28 runs this year for the Vols. This one fouled off the foot of Clark, kicked up to Gould. So if it wasn't for that one going off the foot, probably would have been foul anyway. It was pulled, but just ended up hitting off the left foot. So old plate umpire J.C. Bartley will give her a little time and Clark to gather herself there if that hit the foot. Luckily, she's got the shin guard on there on the left foot, so I don't think it hurt too much. And we'll get ready to do the 2-2 again. Runner at second for Tennessee with 2 outs in the inning. Here's a pitch. Out in front, but able to just make contact of that one. Clark out on her front half, and her front leg, but just able to get a piece of it and keep the inning alive. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, line drive into center field, but Kalani sails all over that one. Got a good jump on it, was hit fairly straight at her, had to run to her right a little bit to make the play, but that'll end the top half of the 6th inning for Tennessee. Lady Vols with no runs on no hits, no errors, and they leave 1 on base. It was the leadoff walk and Dodge that reached but could never cross the plate. Again, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. As we move to the bottom half of the 6th inning, State going to have 2, 3, and 4 due up, and they will go up against Carolyn Pickens once more. We'll be back in just a moment for the bottom half of the 6th inning. I'm Ty Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C-Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you implement AI to increase productivity.
And next quarter is looking even better.
Giving you the confidence and control to accelerate business growth. There's more to see. C-Spire. Customer inspired.
Southern Ag Services and Alliance Ag Risk Management have deep roots in the farming communities of Mississippi and the Mid-South. Using crop insurance and research-based agronomy, our strategies will minimize your production risks and maximize your economic returns. Partnering with us ensures you'll get years of farming experience and local successes to help you make solid decisions. Alliance Ag Risk Management and Southern Ag Services, 662-268-8006.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here at Noose Park for Mississippi State and Tennessee. Doing battle here in Game 3. The Lady Volunteers lead your Lady Bulldogs 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Leading off for Mississippi State against Carolyn Pickens, going to be the third baseman senior for Mississippi State in number 10, Nadia Barbary. Barbary 0 for 2 in this one. 2 ground outs to Bella Fall over there at shortstop. So looking to get her first hit, has had a hit again in every game so far this series. Swing and a miss on the first pitch, and there's strike 1. Bulldogs' lone hit came in the 3rd inning, bottom of the 3rd, and it was a solo home run that then tied the game, but Tennessee had a solo shot in the 4th that promptly untied it. 1-0, or rather 0-1, misses high and out of the zone and evens the count up at 1-1. Barbary has had a great last couple of ball games and had a good week so far. Here's the 1-1. Fouled over to the third base side, and will make the count 1-2. But Barbary, with a hit in these two games, or the first two games of the series, on a 6-game hitting streak right now. This one misses and all the way back to the backstop. Second time that's happened for Pickens. Not really a big deal. No runners on, so nobody that can move. And now 2-2 the count on Barbary. Trying to fight back and reach first to open the inning for Mississippi State. She's a 318 leadoff hitter this year, and this one misses outside for ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Barbary has not walked this series, has walked 10 times, though, this season. An on-base percentage of .394 with a batting average of .333. Here's a 3-2. Swung on, foul ball, and off the body there of Barbary, and she stays alive in the count. With the bases empty and nobody out in the bottom half of the 6th inning. State trying to tie this thing or maybe take the lead with the 7th inning up next. 3-2 count on Barbary. Here's a pitch from Pickens. Swung on, a slow roller to Dodge over there at second base. She underhand tosses it to first in time for out number 1. Tennessee defense working again, and a good job from Pickens, who worked hard in that count. So did Barbary, but Pickens got the best of her and a ground out. Kiara Sells now going to stand in for Mississippi State. 1 out in the inning, and Sells 0 for 2 today is still looking to reach for the first time this series. The 0-0 misses low and inside, ball 1. On deck is Morgan Bernardini. She had Kalani Sells in her for her defensively last half inning, so Bernardini will grab her bat and will hit once more here in this half. 1-0, grounder hard over to Fall. Shortstop throw over in time for out number 2. Coach Ricketts will come out of the dugout and make sure home plate umpires got that in this book, that Bernardini going to re-enter to hit. Only 3 hits combined in this game, as well as 3 runs in this ball game so far between the two teams. Tennessee obviously with the 2 runs and 2 hits. Bulldogs with a 1 run and 1 hit. 1 error for Tennessee, none for State. And both teams have left 3 on base apiece. Bulldogs working with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Off speed, or rather that was fastball and fouled back. 0-1 quickly on Bernardini. Struck out in the 2nd inning and reached on an error in the 4th. That error came from the third baseman at that point was Emma Clark. That's Rutan over there at third base now, and this one sent out to left field, and tails just foul. Man, that one was straightened out, would have been gone, and would have tied the game for Mississippi State. So a long and a loud foul ball has put the count now to 0-2 on Bernardini. Troutman waiting in the on-deck circle for State. The 0-2 from Pickens. Swung on, fouled off the lower body there of Bernardini. And the count will remain 0-2. You know, Bernardini had that slow start to the season. But caught fire starting in the Bulldog Invitational. Went on an 8 or 9 game hit streak there and has been a good bat for State. This one will miss, and so count now 1-2. Average was above 300 coming in to the series. It was at 288 today. Now it's dipped 8 points from the start of the day to 280. Here's the 1-2. Did she offer? And she did. A peel down the first base and a check swing strikeout of Morgan Bernardini, and that'll send us to the top half of the 7th inning. And Mississippi State as we head to the final frame. Trails Tennessee 2-1 as we head to the top half of the 7th inning. We're looking at the 3-day series attendance. This 3-day series attendance has broken a 3-day series attendance record here at News Park. 4,818 fans here between the 3 ball games in Starkville, and breaking a 3-game, like I said, series attendance record. So a great weekend here in Starkville. Fans watching an excellent top 12 matchup and been treated to one heck of a series. Game 1 was won by Tennessee in extras in the 9th inning, 3-1. Bulldogs won Game 2 yesterday, 1-0. And the Lady Vols lead right now as we head to the top of the 7th inning, 2-1 over Mississippi State. Back out in the circle for State is Peja Gould. And she'll have to face 6, 7, and 8 for the Volunteers. It'll be Alana Leach, Elsa Morrison, and right now due up would be Maddie Rutan. We'll see if she grabs a bat or if they'll go back and re-enter with Taylon Holly. We'll have to see what what Tennessee does. Tennessee does have a pitcher getting loose in the bullpen, maybe to come in and try and grab the save in the 7th inning, and that pitcher is Aaron Newer. So top of the 7th we go. Alana Leach leading off for Tennessee. First pitch to her, catches the outer half for strike 1. Leach 0 for 2 today. Strikeout and a flyout. Strikeout came in the 2nd inning. Flyout was in the 4th. This one misses low and outside, now ball 1. 1-1 the count. Tennessee as a team 2 for 19 today, a 105 average. Bulldogs 1 for 18, 056 average. 8 strikeouts for the Volunteers today, 5 for Mississippi State. In terms of hitting, this one misses, now 2-1. So 8 strikeouts for the State pitching staff, 5 for the Tennessee pitching staff, which has just been Carolyn Pickens. But Gould has 4, and Amon had 4 to start the game. And this one misses, now 3-1 the count. And Gould in trouble of starting off back-to-back innings with a leadoff walk. Dodge walked to start the 6th inning. Didn't come around the score, but was able to get in the scoring position. And this one misses outside, and so another leadoff walk. And Mississippi State will have to work around that here. Elsa Morrison now going to stand in. And luckily, you're in the bottom of the order. Obviously, still some juice in this order for Tennessee, but you find yourself in the bottom of the order. Don't want to get it to turn to the top. And Sophia Knight, who's 0 for 3 today, you would think that she's due with how good of a bat she has. Morrison stepping in now, 0 for 2 in the game. And this one just misses. Wow. Thought that one was in there. That's now 1-0 the count with Leach at first base. Again, 7, 8, and 9 right now. We're at the 7th spot in the order. The 7, 8, and 9 hitters are combined 0 for 3 in the game. And this one misses as well, and the fans don't like it. So now 2-0 the count. And looking at Holly from earlier, Holly, who might get pinch hit for Rutan, was 1 for 2. This one sent down the line and foul over towards left field. Make the count 2-1. So for hitters who have hit in the 7, 8, and 9 spot so far in this game for Tennessee, a combined 1 for 5. Holly had one of the 2 hits in the game for Tennessee. The other one came from Emma Clark, which is the home run that took the lead in the 4th. This one hit hard and through the 6-hole in the left field, and back-to-back base runners to lead off the inning for Tennessee, and a less than ideal start for Mississippi State here as they try and hold this thing to a 1-run lead for the Lady Vols. Maddie Rutan will hit for Tennessee. State meeting in the circle right now. Got to think maybe Rutan, as she's talking with her head coach Karen Weekly, maybe thinking about bunting here, nobody out, and runners at second and third. You get it to Bella Fall, and then if you don't get doubled up, you could turn the lineup over to Sophia Knight at the top of the order. So maybe think about bunting if you're Rutan. She's out of the right-handed batter's box, so have it less of an advantage to try and reach. Squares to bunt, but pulls back as that one was a ball. Coach Taryn Mullet-McKinney going to come out and talk with her pitcher and Peja Gould. A tight spot here for Mississippi State in the top of the seventh inning. Again, trying to keep this thing at a one-run advantage for Tennessee. They have to do a lot less work in the bottom of the seventh inning. Still got to at least score one if they keep it to a one-run deficit, but see if State can do that. So Coach Samantha Ricketts also talking with her infielders, and Mullet-McKinney talking with Peja Gould and Des Rivera. Also an offensive meeting for Tennessee near the plate. Again, midweek this week on Wednesday, Bulldogs will take on UAB here at Noose Park. We'll have that one on the Bulldog Student Sports Network. And then State will go on the road for the first time in SEC play this year next weekend in Friday, Saturday, Sunday series with Top 15 Georgia. It doesn't end when you're in SEC play. Always a battle. It'll be a tough one next weekend, but hopefully the Bulldogs can win the series. 1-0 to Rutan, and oh man, it gets back to the screen, all the way back to the backstop, and Rutan pulled the bat back, and a 2-0 count now, and Mississippi State in a world of hurt. Runners at second and third for the Lady Vols, and Tennessee going to make a lineup change here. See what they do. Maybe a pinch runner for the Vols, and we will get a pinch runner. That's going to be number 11 and Zoe Schuler. So Schuler will go to second base. First time we've seen her this series. Sophomore out of Robbinsville, North Carolina. Was mainly a pinch runner last year and has mainly been one this year. Now playing in her 17th game and 15th as a pinch runner. And scored 8 runs so far this year for Tennessee. And Bulldogs are going to make a pitching change. That's going to be the end for Peja Gould. She would be responsible for the runners at second and third base. And State will go with the lefty and Alyssa Faircloth. Faircloth coming in after pitching on Friday. Went the full 9 innings, gave up 7 hits, 3 earned runs. The 3 runs came off of that home run from Mackenzie Butt in the 9th inning. Only had 1 walk and 9 strikeouts through 116 pitches on Friday. And so she'll come in and try and get Mississippi State out of this jam. She'll come in and also have a 2-0 count already in the at-bat. For Tennessee right now, it's Rutan at the dish, and then Fall on deck, and then the lineup would turn over to Sophia Knight at the top, who's 0 for 3 today. But with a hitter like that I mentioned earlier, you feel like she's probably due. So Faircloth warming up here. Take this time to remind you, if you're not following us on our social media accounts of the Bulldog Student Sports Network, wish you would. On YouTube, you can subscribe to us, Bulldog Student Sports Network. Click that notification bell. When we go live on Wednesday, I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday against UAB in that softball game. We'll go live with the broadcast. If you click the notification bell, you get instant notifications for an instant notification of when we go live broadcasting that ball game. And for every other state game we call, you can follow us on X at BSSN_MSU and then on Instagram at Bulldog Student Sports Network. And again, thank you for tuning in today. 2-0 count to Maddie Rutan for Alyssa Faircloth. Off speed, does not catch the zone. Go to the 3-0 count here. Don't think you want to make a mistake. And, I would think Tennessee would be taking here. So maybe you can be aggressive and try and work yourself back. You got a base open there at first base, and that would create a double play anywhere and a force out at the plate, and Rutan walks. So it doesn't hurt you. It was a base open. A pivotal at bat in the ball game here and a pivotal inning. Bases are loaded, nobody out for Tennessee, trying to extend on their 2-1 lead here in the rubber match in Game 3. I think the Volunteers might go with a pinch hitter. We'll see if they do. And they will go with a pinch hitter. It'll be number 5, Meredith Barnhart, freshman out of Parker, Colorado, Lutheran High School this year. Has played in 12 games so far, started 5. Has not had a hit all season. 0 for 11. First pitch from Faircloth, misses for ball 1. Got to attack the zone here, nowhere to put Barnhart. Barnhart, though, has been able to reach via the walk, 8 walks this season. Here's a 1-0. Misses high, now ball 2. You got to have strikes here if you're Faircloth. Nowhere to put Barnhart with the bases loaded and nobody out. Force anywhere. I'm sure the throw immediately would be to the plate for Mississippi State. Then try and double off at first base with a ground ball. This one catches a zone. Now 2-1 to count to the freshman and Barnhart. As I mentioned, freshman out of Parker, Colorado, last start. Hadn't started in a while. That was last start, came on February 14th against FAU, but playing in her 13th ball game from Tennessee. 2-1 catches the zone, now 2-2 the count. Two and two on the pinch hitter in Barnhart in the left-handed batter's box. Misses outside, now a full count pitch coming up. Nowhere to put Barnhart. Bases are juiced. Rutan at first, Schuler, the pinch runner, at second, and Leach at third base. Here's a 3-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. A big strikeout to get there. And so Mississippi State now 1 out in the top of the 7th inning, and the lineup flips over, though, to the Sophia Knight. And if I'm State, I'd still play infield in here with the speed out of the batter's box from Knight, and I think they will. Try and gun down a runner at the plate on a ground ball. First pitch tonight going to miss, tonight going to miss for ball 1. But, with the speed of Knight, I would say just try and have the out at the plate and then maybe double her off at first if you can. It's too risky to try and play double play depth in the middle. With her speed out of the box, it'd be really tough to turn a 6-4-3 or a 4-6-3 double play. If it's hit to one of the shortstop or the second baseman for State. 1-0 was a strike. Here's the 1-1, and it's also a strike on the outside corner. So 1-2 the count. Can't make a mistake here. Got to be really smart with pitch selection and where you put this thing. Knight, the dangerous leadoff hitter. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout of Sophia Knight, and she's now 0 for 4 on the day. And State now with 2 outs in the inning as Alyssa Faircloth has come on and got them. Bases were loaded with nobody out. Now there are 2 outs. Ella Dodge standing in, has walked in all 3 plate appearances today, and the first pitch to her in there for a called strike 1. Again, Leach at third, Schuler at second, Rutan at first base. Tennessee got the bases loaded with nobody outs, and since then State's retired 2. 2 strikeouts from Faircloth. This one catches the outer half for strike 2. Here come the fans here at News Park. They come onto their feet. This will be a big out to get for State, and one of the biggest pitches of the afternoon, if not the biggest. Time called. Time called by Dodge. And she'll step back in. Biggest pitch of the afternoon. 0-2 with 2 outs. Misses inside. Count runs to 1-2. State would have 5, 6, and 7 due up next inning, trying to keep it at a 1-run deficit to try and walk off or at least tie Tennessee. Here's the 1-2. Swung on, sent in the center field. Down for a base hit, 1 run will score. Throw into the plate, cut off by Faircloth. 2-run score for Tennessee. What a clutch piece of hitting from Ella Dodge right up the middle in the center field, and the 2 walks for Mississippi State come back to bite them. 4-1 Lady Volunteers in the top half of the 7th inning. They add 2 insurance runs, and they still got a chance to add more. Gabby Leach will step in for the Vols. Strike 1 to her. Runners at first and second for Tennessee. And how about Ella Dodge today? Has reached now in every plate appearance. 3 walks and a 2 RBI double for her in that last at bat. And this one misses the zone. Now 1-1 the count. It'll be really tough for State in the bottom of the 7th inning, but you just got to get out of the top of the 7th here. Leach watches this one. It's in the dirt. Throw down the third. Not in time. Just got away from Rivera. That's how the runners move up each a bag. Rutan the third. Dodge to second base. And Tennessee with another chance of runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Dodge came up clutch, and hopefully for State, Leach can't do it. Here's the 1-1. Sent into the air in center field. This one should be playable. Calling off Keller is Silva for out number 3. Tennessee able to add 2 runs with 2 outs and 2 strikes here in the top of the 7th inning. And Ella Dodge, 2 RBI single in the center field, extends Tennessee's lead to 3. 2 runs, 2 hits on no errors, 2 left on base for the Lady Volunteers. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. State's got 3 outs left to work with as they try and take the series against Tennessee. Volunteers lead by 3 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. 4-1 Tennessee over Mississippi State. We'll be back in just a moment for more Mississippi State softball. I'm Ty Goldman, and you're listening to Mississippi State softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you implement AI to increase productivity.
And next quarter is looking even better.
Giving you the confidence and control to accelerate business growth. There's more to see. C Spire. Customer inspired.
Southern Ag Services and Alliance Ag Risk Management have deep roots in the farming communities of Mississippi and the Mid-South. Using crop insurance and research-based agronomy, our strategies will minimize your production risks and maximize your economic returns. Partnering with us ensures you'll get years of farming experience and local successes to help you make solid decisions. Alliance Ag Risk Management and Southern Ag Services, 662-268-8006.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here in Starkville. Bottom half of the 7th inning. State's got 3 outs to work with as they trail Tennessee 4-1 here in the rubber match in Game 3. Taylor Troutman going to stand in to lead off the inning for State. Was the hero in the bottom of the 7th yesterday, but State was tied at 0 with the Volunteers in that one. This time they're down 3. So solo shot not going to do it. Troutman's just got to get on base. First pitch to her Swung on and fouled back to the net for strike one. Carolyn Pickens still in the game for Tennessee. This one misses low and outside. Now ball one. 1-1 the count. Wind whipping out to left center field. Rivera on deck for Mississippi State. The 1-1. Swung on, sent. Oh, man, the dodge, a diving play in time for out number one. Just took a hit away there from Troutman. That one was left over the plate. Troutman got a whole bunch of it. Hit it hard, but could not escape the glove of Dodge. A diving play to her right. Throw over to first in time for out number one. State with 2 outs to work with. It's Des Rivera who will stand in. Oh to Rivera, misses low for ball one. Rivera 0 for 2 in the game. Again, State with only 1 hit in the contest, and it was Gabby Schaefer's solo home run to left center field right center field in the third. Here's the 1-0. Misses low for ball two. 2-0 the count. Pickens over 100 pitches now. Struck out 5, walked 4, and only the 1 hit, which was a solo home run. Rivera, slow grounder, fall up with it, throw to first in time. State with 1 out left. State going to go with a pinch hitter here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Replacing Kinley Keller to be Abigail Stevens. Stevens has not hit so far in this series. And coming in right now, a .375 batting average and 6 hits on the year. 4 extra base hits as well, but she's got to keep State alive here in the bottom of the 7th inning with 1 out to work with. Swing and a miss, strike one. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed, strike two. State down to their last strike. Tennessee leads 4-1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. A strike would end it and win the series for the Lady Vols. Bulldogs trying to stay alive here. The 0-2. Swung on and missed, strike three. Tennessee wins 4-1 over Mississippi State in Game 3, and the Lady Bulldogs lose the series in the SEC opening series to Tennessee. With the win, Tennessee moves to 27-1, 5-1 in Southeastern Conference play. They win their 2nd straight series. Did drop one yesterday, but able to fight through and win today over Mississippi State. Bulldogs with the loss fall to 27-4 and 1-2 in Southeastern Conference play. Next game for State will be here at home on Wednesday. It'd be March 18th, Wednesday, at 7 p.m. Central Time here in Starkville. We'll have that one on the Bulldog Student Sports Network for you. And then Mississippi State will travel to Georgia next weekend to go on and play in their 2nd SEC series of the season. So a big win for Tennessee. Vols most likely will stay the number 1 team in the country. Saw all weekend fantastic pitching from them. Fantastic pitching from Tennessee, and saw it from Mississippi State too. Lady Vols just able to tack on enough runs and enough hits late in games 1 and 3 to win over Mississippi State, and the Bulldogs again fall to 27-4 and 1-2 in Southeastern Conference play, with the loss but a chance to go make up for it next weekend against Georgia in Athens. So we'll take a break and be back for the start of the postgame show. We're going to have a interview with Samantha Ricketts in just a couple moments. That'll be coming up soon. So we'll get that to you in just a couple minutes, but we're going to take a real quick break and then be back for the first part of our pregame or postgame show rather here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network. Mississippi State falls to Tennessee 4-1 in Game 3, and they lose their first SEC series of the season. Back in just a moment for the start of our post-game show. I'm Ty Goldman, and you've been listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
Everything is just a little easier when you feel at home. At Cadence Bank, we're proud to be part of your home team, and we never stop working to give you a competitive advantage. Stop by a branch or visit us online at cadencebank.com to learn more about how we're helping opportunity take shape for our community.
There's a hit out to left field. This one is gone.
Cadence Bank, a proud sponsor of Mississippi State Athletics. Equal opportunity lender, member FDIC.
I'm Jake Mangum. A great team knows how to gel and only gets better over time. Kind of like auto insurance for Farm Bureau Insurance. Over the last 12 months, auto rates have had 2 reductions. And after February 15th, 2026, members will see another reduction of 5%. If you aren't already on the team, there's no better time to join Farm Bureau. Visit msfbins.com to find great new rates on auto insurance, or contact your local agent to get more details on how you can save. Go with the home team, go with Farm Bureau.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you turn your backyard into your personal movie theater.
Start movie night.
Own your day on the network for connected living. There's more to see. C Spire. Customer inspired.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman here with the BSSN and also with Learfield. And welcome into our post-game show. Mississippi State falls to number 1 Tennessee 4-1 in Game 3, and the Bulldogs dropped their first series of SEC play this season. Again, with the win, Tennessee moves to 27-1 and 5-1 in Southeastern Conference play. Wish safe travels to Tennessee, back up to Knoxville, and good luck to them the rest of the season unless we play again in the SEC tournament, in which I hope the Bulldogs have the best of luck. But good luck to them the rest of the regular season. Safe travels to them back to Knoxville. With a loss, Mississippi State falls to 27-4 and 1-2 in Southeastern Conference play as Tennessee defeats Mississippi State 4-1 here at News Park in Game 3. Final line score, look at Tennessee first. Their runs were scored in the third. They scored 1 in the fourth. They scored 1 and scored 2 in the 7th for some great insurance. State didn't threaten in the bottom of the 7th inning, but Tennessee able to add those 2 for good insurance. So always good to have that for them. 4 runs on 4 hits, 1 error, and they left 5 Lady Volunteers on base. For State, their only run was scored in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Bulldogs had 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 3 Lady Bulldogs left on base. You look at Mississippi State in this one, and the losing pitcher in the ball game is Peja Gould, only her 2nd loss of the season. Winning pitcher Carolyn Pickens, she moves to 7-0, gave up only 1 hit, 1 run, which was a solo home run from Gabby Schaefer in the game. 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, 25 batters faced, and 111 total pitches thrown. Again, another great pitching performance from Tennessee. So through 3 ball games, Tennessee allowed 1 run apiece in each ball game, 3 total runs, and only 5 total hits. So State hasn't been had that happen to them really all year, and it happened to him today, and just a tough situation for Mississippi State. And you kind of knew coming into this game it'd be tough to find your way on base, and it was for Mississippi State. And this one was such a great pitching staff for Tennessee. For the Bulldogs, the loss goes to Peja Gould. Her final line: 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 13 batters faced, and 59 total pitches thrown in the ball game for her. Starter was Layla Amon. She went 3 innings, gave up 1 hit on 1 earned run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and it faced 12 batters through 38 total pitches. I thought it was a good start from her. Only run came off of it was a wild pitch. So it was a leadoff double for Tennessee there in that 3rd inning, and then a wild pitch. A runner got all the way around on that sack bunt, and then from third base scored on a wild pitch. So Amon, I thought, had a good start. Just State pulled her, and Gould did well, and then struggled there in that last inning for later in her work today for State. And then Alyssa Faircloth came in for the final inning. Went one full inning, the 7th. Gave up 1 hit, no earned runs. As those runs scored when she was in the ball game were Peja Gould's, and base on balls given up by her, 2 strikeouts, and 5 batters faced, 22 total pitches thrown. So those are your pitcher stats for the ball game, both for Mississippi State and for Tennessee. Tennessee's 4 hits belonged to Ella Dodge, who had the big 2 out, 2 strike, 2 RBI single, a lot of 2s there, into center field to add some insurance for Tennessee in the 7th inning. And she was responsible for 1 of those hits and 2 of the runs for Tennessee in the ball game. She reached every time she got up. Also walked 3 times in the ball game. So a really good performance for her today. And then also had Emma Clark, who was had another hit for Tennessee, and that was a solo home run. So responsible for another run for the Volunteers. You had Elsa Morrison, who had a hit in the ball game, and then also Taylon Holly, who came around the score in the contest. So there's your 4 people responsible for hits in the game. It was Ella Dodge, Emma Clark, Elsa Morrison, and Taylon Holly for Tennessee. Lone hit in the game for State belonged to, as I mentioned, Gabby Schaefer. Schaefer had a solo home run into right center field. She crushed that thing into right center field in the bottom of the 3rd inning to answer Tennessee's 1-run top half of the 3rd, but Bulldogs couldn't hold on to the lead after that. But she had the only hit in the game for State. State had got on base a couple different, a couple times from walks. There was 4 total walks registered in the ball game from Carolyn Pickens. Abby Grace Richardson reached every time she got up. Only got up twice, but reached on twice on walks. Schaefer also reached every time she got up. 1 for 1, obviously, with that hit and the home run, and then also had a base on balls as well in the game. And then you look at Morgan Stiles, had the other base on balls for Mississippi State in the contest. And so those 3 responsible for getting on base for Mississippi State in the ball game. And again, just a series State just couldn't do much, offensively. Talked about that in the pregame with Coach Ricketts, and just struggled to struggled all game and all series, and she was wanting some more confidence in the approach today. Again, only 4 strikeouts and 24 batters faced, so around the same mark that State had been in terms of their rate of striking out all series, and put some balls in play, but Tennessee made some fine plays today. Had 1 error, didn't come back to haunt them, but had some fine plays made defensively, especially that middle infield. I mean, the middle infield was legit for Tennessee. You saw that they turned a double play today, a 4-6-3. Ella Dodge made that great diving play in the 7th inning on Taylor Troutman's hard hit ball over to the second base side. So, again, State put balls in play, just couldn't get them to drop, and that's a credit to Tennessee's defense and a credit to Tennessee's pitching staff as well. I mean, 4 walks, but what was the big deal was Pickens was able to fight back with runners on base for Mississippi State. Again, State in the ball in the entire series went 0 with runners in scoring position. It didn't get a runner in scoring position on Friday. He got 3 in yesterday, but had 3 opportunities yesterday and 2 opportunities today, and went 0 for 5 in total. So 0 for 4 in total with runners on today for State, 1 for 7 with runners on yesterday, and on Friday 0 for 3. So, again, just, Tennessee didn't allow much traffic on the base pass the entire series. And, today there was it felt like more than what it seemed. You had some walks, and then you also had the one hit, which she wasn't on base. So, but he had those walks, and we ended up getting runners to second, got a runner to third as well once in the game, and couldn't score on it. So, just have to do a better job with runners in scoring position. I get it's a top 5 pitching staff along with your own, but got to figure out a way to get runners in scoring position, convert with runners in scoring position. Something that State has struggled with this season, and they're going to have to fix that when we get further into SEC play, because the competition doesn't fall any. We won't play the number 1 team again, I guess, for some time, but competition doesn't get any easier. You go to top 15 Georgia next week. So got to find a way to convert with runners in scoring position. We'll talk more about that in the ball game in just a moment. I'm going to send us to break, and then bring in or put on our post-game interview with the Bulldog Student Sports Network with Coach Samantha Ricketts, and I'll talk a little bit more about the final of this ball game, and then send y'all on y'all's way. So I'll be back in just a moment. Going to take a short break here on our post-game show as Mississippi State falls to Tennessee 4-1 here in 7, and they lose their first SEC series of the year. You're listening to the post-game show here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Learfield.
There's team pride, and then there's extra Bulldog pride. When I'm carrying the Mississippi State University Regions Visa debit card or prepaid Regions Now card, that's exactly what I get. Whether I'm grabbing some extra state gear or picking up an extra dozen wings for the game, this card always brings it. Sometimes I get an extra Hail State from the cashier too. Visit Regions.com/Go State to get yours.
Extra changes everything. And at Regions, Extra is our ordinary. Official bank of the SEC, member FDIC.
Hey fans, I know you'd do anything for a win on game day and an ice-cold Bud Light. Because whether you're tailgating in the parking lot or parked on the couch, sitting on your lucky stool at the bar, or standing in the fan section all game long, the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light turns a win into a win-win. And there's nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Southern Ag Services and Alliance Ag Risk Management have deep roots in the farming communities of Mississippi and the Mid-South. Using crop insurance and research-based agronomy, our strategies will minimize your production risks and maximize your economic returns. Partnering with us ensures you'll get years of farming experience and local successes to help you make solid decisions. Alliance Ag Risk Management and Southern Ag Services, 662-268-8006.
Ever imagine one company could transform how you live and work? With C-Spire, you're connected with advanced technology that enhances everything you do. How you order your morning coffee.
Order my usual.
How you secure your company's data. Even how you implement AI to increase productivity.
And next quarter is looking even better.
Giving you the confidence and control to accelerate business growth. There's more to see. C-Spire. Customer inspired.
Trey Willis, shortstop.
Marshall Jones, first baseman.
Alex Philbin, center fielder. Hi, I'm Tim from C-Spire. Am I in the right place?
It always pays to have the right players on your team. That's why C-Spire gives you fiber-fast home internet, nationwide 5G wireless, and best-in-class business solutions, all backed by local 24/7 support. C-Spire, customer inspired.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just nonstop action. The energy is electric and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Ah, crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Jake Mangum here. When I'm at the plate, I'm always looking for an edge. So when I'm shopping for auto insurance, I'm always looking to save. That's why I'm going with Mississippi Farm Bureau Insurance to keep me covered. They're always finding ways to save you money, like a 7% discount when you sign up for paperless billing and documents. Go to msfbins.com and discover how much you can save on auto insurance, or find a local agent and get started today. Go with the home team. Go with Farm Bureau Insurance.
Bulldog fans, are you looking for the perfect weekend getaway? Look no further. Pearl River Resort in Choctaw, Mississippi offers the experience of a lifetime. World-class entertainment, unique shopping, and the ultimate in fine dining. And if that's not enough, hit the links at the world-renowned Azaleas and Oaks courses at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club and complete your stay in luxurious relaxation at the spa. Your exhilarating weekend awaits only at Pearl River Resort, where you'll be at the center of it all. Must be 21 or older.
Welcome back into the Bulldog Student Sports Network. I'm Ty Goldman alongside you here in our post-game show. First Responders Home Run Derby going on right now at the firemen, Starkville Fire Department, and also the policemen doing battle here. It's been all fire department lately in the in this Home Run Derby. They've won, I believe, every matchup, so I guess we'll see if things can change here in this one. But we'll get on with our post-game show as Mississippi State falls 4-1 to number 1 Tennessee in this ball game. In Game 3, State loses its first SEC series of the season. Nothing to hang your heads on. Obviously, first SEC series of the year, and the Bulldogs got a lot of ball left to play, and obviously playing against a great team in Tennessee. So a lot left to look forward to this year, and you saw a lot from Mississippi State. I think a lot of fight and a lot from the pitching staff in this series this weekend in Starkville. So we've got a interview with head coach Samantha Ricketts, a post-game interview that I'll play here for you in just a second. Appreciate Skylar Aldi with the Bulldog Student Sports Network helping her out. She's been doing all types of stuff this weekend, been emceeing here in the ballpark and also doing some post-game interviews for us, so I appreciate her very much, and thank you to her for getting Coach Samantha Ricketts yesterday in the day. I listened to the audio, so it'll get better when time goes on, I promise. Now, it's windy here in Starkville today, so the wind is there a little bit. I'm going to turn it down a little bit for you. You'll still be able to hear it, but that way the wind doesn't get you and doesn't get too loud for you in the post-game interview. We'll adjust that as the season goes. Just stay with us with our first batch of post-game and pre-game interviews. We'll adjust with that, and we'll get that quality better for you as we go on in the season. But I'll turn it down a little bit, but you'll still be able to hear it. Here's head coach Samantha Ricketts with our correspondent here, the Bulldog Student Sports Network, post-game with Samantha Ricketts, and it's Skylar Aldi with the interview.
I'm here with Bulldogs head coach Samantha Ricketts. And Coach Ricketts, what did you think about the overall gameplay we saw this weekend on the defense side of things?
I mean, great pitching duels all weekend long. Just elite pitching on both sides. I loved seeing, 3 new pitchers for us, all transfers, and them being ready for their moment, stepping up and going toe-to-toe with the number 1 team in the country. And I think the biggest thing was not being scared and going out and competing. I thought our pitching staff did exactly that. Gave us a chance to win in all 3 games.
I couldn't agree more. And what are your thoughts on the offensive side you saw this weekend from your Bulldogs?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously that's where we need to be better. And just against an elite pitching staff like that, you have got to compete in our game plan. And I don't think we really did a good job of that all game long. And when you've got pitchers like that, they're going to expose it. And I think that's going to have to be our biggest adjustment moving forward.
And what are the key takeaways you're taking into your next game from the series?
I mean, I think the message now was just, we don't want to be peaking right now, but the biggest thing we have to do is take lessons from this and find ways to pick up some timely hits for our pitchers and just trust ourselves a little bit more. And I think we saw a lot of really good things, and we can continue to compete in this conference and on the big stage if we let this weekend kind of fuel us and teach us some good lessons early on in this SEC season.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Coach Ricketts.
Thank you.
That was head coach Samantha Ricketts for Mississippi State with our correspondent with the Bulldog Student Sports Network and Skylar Aldi. Thank you to Skylar for the 2 interviews, one today and yesterday. And thank you to Coach Ricketts for taking the time to talk with us here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, both for yesterday's postgame show and then the pregame interview yesterday or today, and the postgame today as well. But again, she talked about, the offense obviously is something that's going to have to be worked on. That's obvious after scoring 3 runs in 3 games and only having 5 hits to show for after 3 games against Tennessee. Said, she just believed that the approach wasn't, State wasn't executing the approach and the order wasn't executing the approach, and she's exactly right in saying a great pitching staff like that in Tennessee is going to expose that, and that's exactly what they did today. I mean, Tennessee did that to Mississippi State, and State's got to work on that. Like I said, leaving off and going into break, with runners in scoring position, State has struggled in some games this year at times, and so they've got to they got to be a lot better with runners in scoring position. Didn't get many opportunities for that, but we did have runners at second and third at one point in the game, and weren't able to take advantage of it. So. You got to be better with runners in scoring position. Obviously, you got to be able to get them in scoring position as well. And State really wasn't able to do that today. Only had 3 opportunities with that. So, again, like I said, you just gotta. Again, it's a weekend where it's opening weekend of SEC play. Obviously, you would like to have this one, especially against the number 1 team in the country. But you got to flush it because it's the first series of SEC play. You got a lot more ball games to play, but got to keep in mind what happened this series and what happened all weekend long. In that, the weren't really committed to the approach and didn't really execute on the approach and it's something that you got to understand and you got to bring into next week, and you bring into obviously handle business against UAB on Wednesday. That was a close game for a while there in Birmingham when they played earlier in the season. So they played some close games. They played a close game with Tennessee as well earlier in the year. So that's a pretty good mid-major program. So they're coming into Starkville, and you got to lock in for that ball game on Wednesday, and then you got to adjust and go to work on Friday, Saturday, Sunday against Georgia. So and then she talked about the pitching. Obviously, there's not a lot more to say. You've seen this weekend that State's pitching staff is confirmed up there with one of the best in the nation. I mean, it's just an incredible pitching staff. Saw it today, I think, from all 3 in Amon and Faircloth and Peja Gould. Saw it all series long as well. And my thing is, Amon didn't go very long today, but I thought she was completely fine. I mean, again, look at it. It had 2 walks, so you'd like to give not have that, and then you had the 1 hit as well, which ended up coming around the score for a run, which is the 1 earned run for. But had 4 strikeouts, 12 batters faced. Came in. I think it never felt like lacked command. Had those 2 walks, but you felt like she was herself. And again, you saw that all series long with all 3 pitchers, and they all had their moments. And today with Gould, struggled at the end of her run today. Faircloth came in and gave up the single up the middle for 2 runs, but you had to work all the way from no outs when she came in and had a 2-0 count on her as well. So there's a tough position on her. So, but they all had their moments this weekend. You saw that with Gould, you saw that with Faircloth, you saw that with Amon, and you've seen now that Mississippi State, like we've been saying here on the network, and I'm sure many State fans know, this is up there with one of the best pitching staffs in the nation. Yeah, I would say easily a top 5 pitching staff in the entire country. And you saw it this weekend. It kept Mississippi State, the staff did, in the entire in every single ball game in this 3-game series. So incredibly impressive from Mississippi State's pitching staff in this one, as well as their defense. No errors at all in this entire series for Mississippi State. So defense kept them in as well. wasn't making any bad decisions. Didn't make any mistakes. And a good job from the defense and the pitching staff. That's the big takeaway is they were flawless this weekend. Obviously, runs are going to be scored, hits are going to be accrued, but you can't. You just gotta deal with that. And as an offense, you got to come in and respond. And State did at times in this series, but just couldn't do it late like Tennessee did. Tennessee, like I said, in the first ball game, you had in the first ball game, you had Tennessee come in the ninth inning and score 3 runs, and then State responds with 1 but can't score anymore. And same thing, you have Bulldogs yesterday are able to have the 1 run themselves. And then you also look at today, and State was able to respond after the 1 run of the third from Tennessee. They score their own run, and then Tennessee scores late, and they did that, like I said, in Game 1 and Game 3, and State just couldn't respond. So you saw, too, this weekend why Tennessee's number 1. I mean, it made a couple errors this weekend, but you saw the pitching staff was great. For the most part, outside of those 2 errors, defense was phenomenal. And, again, hitting was timely for Tennessee this weekend. They made clutch hits, in both of their wins this weekend, coming in the 9th inning and the 7th inning. Scored some runs outside of that today in the 3rd and the 4th, but those insurance runs were big for Tennessee in the ball game. So again, it's a weekend you can obviously improve on. You got to work on the offense. It's got to be a lot better. Got to adjust and find a way to hone in on the approach that Coach Samantha Ricketts and her staff wants. And then for pitching, continue to do what you're doing. I mean, you have continued to dominate and showed it today and Saturday and Friday. So continue to work on that and continue to do the same thing you're doing. And with defensively, keep that going too, because your defense and your pitching, like I said, all weekend kept you in ball games, gave you opportunities to win. So keep doing what you're doing in terms of defensive pitching. Like to limit the walks, but I'm just picking at grasping at straws here. Had 5 today, so that's, I think, maybe a bigger takeaway from the day is there were more freebies given up for Mississippi State than any time in this series. Only 1 walk on Friday from State, and no walks yesterday, but 2 hit by pitches for Mississippi State yesterday, but 5 total walks in the ball game today, no hit by pitches. So State gave up a lot more today. So got to lock in for Game 3s and pitch the best you can. But for State, again, it's you saw all weekend pitching staff and defense. There's a reason why they're one of the 2 best pitching staff and best defense in the nation, and you saw that this weekend. So continue to work on that and adjust. And when we go to the midweek, handle business against UAB and get ready for another excellent, probably going to be a top 15 matchup. I doubt I see State move out of the top 15. So in Georgia, I'm sure probably won't either. And I'll look at some final scores around the Southeastern Conference as well. But probably going to be at least probably a top 20 matchup next weekend in Athens. So you got to make a quick turnaround and get right back to work. So hopefully Mississippi State can do that and get a win on Wednesday, and then maybe take the series against Georgia next weekend. Let's look at some scores around the SEC real quick here. So right now in a series-deciding Game 3 in Tuscaloosa, Alabama up 2-0 in the top half of the 5th inning. Bama was undefeated going into the day yesterday, and Arkansas upset them. So a top 10 matchup in Tuscaloosa, and Alabama up top in the top of the 5th, 2-0, as they look to take the series against the Razorbacks. Also look at some scores that have gone final, because that's the only SEC game going on right now. South Carolina completes the sweep of Boston College, a 2-1 win today over the Eagles. Looking at Texas, they win in Austin today, 15-3 over Ole Miss. A sweep of the Rebels. Oklahoma with a win yesterday against Auburn, 8-5, and then they win today, handling the Tigers in 5, 14-2. So they sweep the Auburn Tigers. Florida finishes off Kentucky today with a sweep. Final in 6 innings, they win 9-0. So a sweep for Florida over Kentucky this weekend, and that's all that's gone final. And then still up to play in 2 more games, as they had a late start over there in Baton Rouge, or down in Baton Rouge, is LSU and Texas A&M. A&M won last night. Let me look at that score. Won last night 7-2 in Baton Rouge. So Game 2 set for tonight at 6 o'clock on the SEC Network, and then Game 3 tomorrow at 6 o'clock on the SEC Network. So A&M trying to win the series tonight, and LSU trying to split it and take it to a rubber match Game 3 tomorrow at 6 p.m. in Baton Rouge. So there's some SEC scores around the nation for you. Looking at next week, if you want to see some scores or some matchups that'll go on next week inside the conference, let's look real quick. You have obviously Mississippi State and Georgia next week. Tennessee will travel to Florida next week, so hey, doesn't get a lot easier for them. Florida 29-1, number 8 in the nation. Alabama will travel to 12-16 Missouri. Game there, a series there. Alabama probably looking to get a sweep against the Tigers under 500. Like I said, State going to Georgia. You have LSU will travel to South Carolina next weekend. And looking down, Arkansas going to host UConn, it looks like, next weekend for a little non-con series at home. Kentucky will travel to Texas A&M next weekend, and for a 3-game series, and Baylor will go on the road to Texas. Trying to find if Ole Miss is active next week, and they are. They'll host Oklahoma next weekend in Oxford. So a 3-game series for Ole Miss next weekend against Oklahoma. So there's some games for you next weekend to pay attention to around the league, and then obviously pay attention to Mississippi State as you'll have Bulldogs traveling to Athens, Georgia next weekend to take on the top 15 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. So unfortunately, game doesn't go the way you want it to today. You just got to, move past it and get on into next week. Bulldogs will take on UAB here at home on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time here in Starkville. We'll have that one for you on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, so you can tune in there. And then next weekend, won't be making a trip to Georgia, so you'll have to tune in on TV. I'm sure one of them. Maybe one of them will be on the SEC Network, but you'll be able to catch all of them for sure on the SEC Network Plus. So 3-game series next weekend at Georgia for Mississippi State. And the next time they'll be home after the 3-game series, let me take a look at that. At Georgia, 3-game series at Georgia, and then they're at home next, it looks like, I'm trying to do that in my head. It looks like, next Wednesday. At home next Wednesday at 5 p.m. against UT Martin, and then, the Wednesday after next, and then, or this upcoming Wednesday, and then the weekend after this upcoming weekend, they'll host top 25 South Carolina here in Starkville for a 3-game series, and it looks like that is starting on, again, I'm doing the math in my head here, starting on Friday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, against South Carolina. So on the road next weekend at Georgia, and then back home against UT Martin on Wednesday, and South Carolina for a 3-game series Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which will have all those games brought to you here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network, and for sure we'll have the South Carolina game as well on hailstate.com and the Hail State app. But we're going to wrap up the post-game show here. Again, appreciate y'all tuning in this afternoon for the ball game. Appreciate y'all tuning in all week as well. A solid weekend for us here on the Bulldog Student Sports Network and on hailstate.com and Hail State app with Learfield. First weekend working with Learfield, so again, a pleasure to do that, and thank you to everybody inside our softball program here at Mississippi State, inside our athletics department, and inside of Learfield as well. Big thank you to also Neil Price, who worked to help us out with that. Thank you to him. Thank you to our sponsor in the communication department, Chris Mission. And thank you guys as well for tuning in and always listening to Mississippi State softball, Mississippi State sports. Wouldn't be here without y'all. So again, appreciate you guys for tuning in and helping us out. And we're so glad to be the official broadcast of Mississippi State softball. So that's going to do it here from News Park. Good to talk with you again today. Good to broadcast with you again today. I just unfortunately didn't come out on the side of the maroon and white. Mississippi State loses the series. They lose in Game 3, 4-1 to Tennessee. Again, Tennessee moves to 27-1 in overall and 5-1 in Southeastern Conference play. Safe travels to the Lady Volunteers back to Knoxville, and Mississippi State falls with a loss to 27-4 and 1-2 in Southeastern Conference play. Pleasure talking to you today. Pleasure broadcasting to you all weekend. I'm Ty Goldman signing off for the Bulldog Student Sports Network. Appreciate you tuning in all weekend here in Starkville. We'll be back for some Bulldog softball on Wednesday as Mississippi State takes on UAB here at News Park. Everybody, have a great rest of your Sunday. Stay safe with the weather coming through the great state of Mississippi this weekend, and Hail State.
From Learfield, you've been listening to Mississippi State Softball on the Bulldog Sports Network. Mississippi State Softball has been sponsored by C Spire, customer inspired. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Bulldog Sports Network.